Hello and welcome to Group C of the round of 24 here at ASL Season 20, done in partnership with Google Play and Gravity. Yesterday's games in Group B were a ceremony of aggression and a celebration of skill that had us all glued to the TV screen. As we wait with bated breath, let's meet our players ahead of Group C. Hi guys. Hello. First up, Tier 1 player Mini. Today marks the start of your 18th tournament run. What do you have in store for us this season? I keep getting eliminated in the round of 16 recently. I need to make it far. I think this season is an opportunity to do so. I saw that you left a review of the groups after the announcement, hinting that this season all the hotshots have been gathered in one place. How did you prepare for this? There's two guys I don't like here. Both of them have knocked me out in the past. I didn't fancy playing against them. I will have to win whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Mini will try to win. Up next, someone perhaps not familiar with this stage. He is the champion of ACS. Joining us here, it's Saber. How does it feel to be here as dream turns to reality? I am so out of my depth. Things should be interesting nonetheless. Today is my first time coming to the studio. I will try and play fun games. Are you excited? Yes, I am. After his championship run in ACS, Saber said in an interview that you would like to leave an imprint, an impression, even if it's on just one person. Could you elaborate? How do you see yourself leaving a mark? I would like to go by like a whirlwind. Saber says he wants to be a breakout star. Can't wait. Up next we have our Tier 2 player who returns to us having just finished his military service. It's Soma. It's been a while since we last saw him in Season 16. How does it feel to be playing again? Yes, I was stationed in Cheolwon in Gangwon province. I was busy defending our nation. I missed this. I'm really glad to be back. Are you happy to be here today? Are you going to enjoy this? Yes, I'm going to have fun today. If we look back at the previous season, you were mentioned by many players that they practiced with you. And that's how you got back up to speed, I think. Percentage-wise, to what degree are you back to your former shape? I am way past 100%. I'm 120% back. What? You've returned to 120% of your former level? Way to make us look forward to your games today. Up next we have Tier 3 player sSaK. The qualifiers were not an easy journey for you, but you're once again getting ready to play in the round of 24. What do you have in mind this season? I'm always getting knocked out in the round of 24. I'll treat this as an opportunity and make the round of 16. Huh. All four players are treating today as some sort of an opportunity. If we take a look at sSaK's record over the last 3 seasons, he got knocked out in the decider match in the round of 24 every single time, which must sting. Do you think you're prepared to maybe advance quickly through the winners match here this time? At first, I thought, well, this is a difficult group. But then, I played Pro League with Soma, and hey, you know what? It's doable. I would usually end up going to the decider match through the losers. I'll try and go to the winners instead and advance today. Looking forward to it. Now, the highlight of that ACS and of Saber's play was ZVZ. What really stood out was his keen, spear-like offense. Do you think you can cause an upset with your aggression today? Yeah, I only got to show my ZVZ that time. Today, I will show that I know how to play against Protoss as well. Saber says he has got things to show today. Turning to sSaK, it would really seem that perhaps Zerg is what he needs to overcome in the round of 24. Let's not beat about the bush. You've been on a slump against Zerg in the tournament proper. Do you think you can turn a new leaf in this first TVZ against Soma today? Oh yeah, I saw a certain someone do a breakdown. I had a 25% win rate against Zerg. Well, this guy also has a 30% win rate against Terran, so yeah, it's going to be 2 losers battling it out. I think it's a doable match. sSaK thinks it's doable. Now, this is a match many will surely be hoping for. Second highest win rate against Zerg Mini, and third highest win rate against Protoss, Soma. If these two were to play, how would this pan out? Many are wondering. Despite Soma's period of inactivity, this should be a great game. Let's hear what the players think one by one. He used to do really well. He did damn well before he went to the army, but now it feels like he just keeps getting lucky. It's like, rather than late game, he wins off of early to mid game. I'll just have to get off to a good start. Mini says that Soma played very well before he went to the army, but nowadays he's winning because he's lucky. Soma, what do you think? He's got me dead to rights. I focus on early to mid game. Anyhow, this game is for sure going to happen. It's going to be in the winners match. Please look forward to it. Soma says this will be the winners match today and he hopes you look forward to it. Can't help but feel excited. Before we jump into the games, let's have some final remarks from our players to close things out, starting with Mini. I will do well today in the round of 24 and have a good run this season. I will advance in first place. Whenever I played in tournaments, I would feel nervous, but how am I supposed to feel nervous with these guys around? I'll show you good games. Whatever happens, I'm gonna beat Soma. The atmosphere is electric right from the get-go today, thanks to our 4 players. Thanks for the interview. This is ASL Season 20, done in partnership with Google Play and Gravity. Who will end up making it into the round of 16 today? Let's start the first match and find out.
What's up, everybody? It's time for Group C. This is the third day of the ASL Season 20. We're in the round of 24. We've got a very even split racially here for this group. It should be a fantastic one. So far, our first 2 days were amazing.
They were really entertaining, although yesterday we had no Zerg players, so kind of nice to get a couple of those in here today. As far as this group goes, though, it feels predictable a little bit. I'd be really shocked if Mini and Soma don't get through. Like, they really are another level. I love sSaK. He's a great player. Saber has been top 3 on the ladder a lot recently. He's been working very hard for a long time, and he won ACS, which is an incredibly hard way to get in. But I just don't see them taking down 2 championship-level players.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mini's just going to exit this group pretty easily. And then, of course, Soma is he's been in incredible shape forever. I think he's a very tough Zerg to prep against. sSaK's good, but, it feels like, they do this in ASL where sometimes they'll be like, this guy's the tier 1 player, and this guy's the tier 2, and the tier 3, and the tier 4, and sometimes I don't agree with that, but this is a group where I think it's pretty fair. Like, there's clear favorites. You can rank them down the list. Maybe we have an upset. Maybe there are surprises. I mean, it is a best of 1, so crazy stuff can happen. Best of 1s can be pretty brutal, but I would not be too surprised if the players we expect to advance, in fact, do get out.
Yeah. sSaK is going to have to pull some really technical openers to maybe get some early drone kills, and then I could see him upsetting the group. And, I mean, don't forget that sometimes Mini chooses the worst possible strategy for a best of 1 against someone he's super favored against. So maybe, I mean, there are possibilities for upsets, but like Soma and Mini, if either of them won the season, I wouldn't be surprised. That's actually the level that they're at. Like, they are 2 of, I would say, the top 6 players in this tournament.
This is going to be fun. Saber being here, let's see how he performs. If you've been following ASL, this is a guy you're probably not that familiar with. You'd have to be pretty hardcore into StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
To kind of be, to have this guy on your radar, but he's extremely good. I am so happy, by the way, that this is something that really shows the vitality of StarCraft in its current state, is that we every season basically have 1 or 2 new guys.
That is really nice, because there is a whole group of players that are around Saber's level that are super good and are playing all the time trying to get in.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, as an example, one of the issues we have in StarCraft 2 in Korea is that it is the same players. Like, Zhao or Percival were the newest players.
Yeah.
And that was like 7 or 8 years ago or something. It was like so long ago. But, you know, the day that I, whether I'm casting in Korea for GSL or I'm casting RSL, where the players play online, like the day a Korean guy shows up that I don't know, I'm going to be excited because I know all these other players so well, right? But, with ASL, it's so competitive. There's so many people online. There's so many strong players on the ladder that, yeah, some of these guys manage to elbow their way into this very elite, top 24 players in the world here for ASL. So it's really cool to see Saber here. I'm really excited to see how he's going to perform.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hold out too much hope. It's a really tough group for him. These guys are all really experienced. Even sSaK, who we're kind of counting out, like sSaK is extremely good. Like, he's been considered a top, like, 7-ish Terran for years and years and years. But he's, like, right around, rank 7, rank 8 as far as... I would put him a little bit lower nowadays, but, like, he is very good also. So it's going to be a tough one for him, especially going up against this guy, Mini. Mini has just been an absolute dominator of Zerg for basically his entire career. And look at that. A round of 4, 3 second places, and a victory. There are very few players with an ASL record as good as Mini.
Yeah, I mean, Mini is, terrifying as a Protoss player. Also a very abusive Protoss player. Really knows how to kind of exploit these asymmetric situations in each of these matchups. Saber's got his work cut out for him. Sometimes, in a way, especially when you're in a stage like this in ASL where it's like, okay, I'm fine. All I do is play StarCraft. All I do is watch StarCraft. Now I'm literally in the show, that kind of the driving force of the whole game. How am I going to perform? Will he get nervous or not? I guess when you're against somebody as good as Mini, in some ways that kind of relieves the pressure. If you lose, it's like, well, yeah, it's Mini, right?
That's true.
So maybe that'll be helpful for him. Everybody's different. People respond differently to pressure or stress or new environments like this one is here for Saber. So, hopefully he can bring his best game.
I hope so, because Saber's really good. I've cast him a lot over on our Tastosis casts, and I've seen so many of his games. He is super high level right now. He plays all the pros all the time. If he can deliver his regular level game, he'll make it interesting.
Okay, guys, we're going to go on to Dominator here for Map 1. Again, it is a best of 1. All games today will be a best of 1, so we're going to see who will survive this phase and go on to the winner's match here of Group C in the ASL. Okay, Mini down here in the bottom left, and Saber here in the top left. As always, guys, please consider supporting us on the Patreon, patreon.com/ASL English. If you've been meaning to sign up, we hope to give you that nudge. Your support means the world to us. And I'm just so happy we get to be doing StarCraft forever. This is the greatest game ever made. This is the game that proved the concept of esports being a viable thing, that, yes, people will show up. They will follow the games just like it's a drama, your favorite drama on TV. People will become obsessed with players and become fans of them, or they'll become obsessed with certain races and, want to cheer them on. So, guys, consider signing up, support StarCraft, support us. It means the world to us.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's you've been fantastic, and hope that you're enjoying the season. It's already off to a great start. Last season I felt like it was the top 2 or 3 season ever as far as entertainment value goes. And, this has been a great start. We're only 2 groups in, right? This is Group 3 that we're doing. But StarCraft is just in such a good place right now, I think, as far as metagame. Overall, everything is awesome other than sSaK winning everything, which some people actually really like that as well. But I do want to see someone actually be able to take more than one map off of him.
Well, it's getting kind of crazy now. We keep saying, well, he might do it again, and he has. It's been 2 years of dominance from him. How long is this going to go for? Flash did not compete in this season. He's done this thing where he retires and comes back and retires and comes back. So I don't want to be like, oh, he's not going to be here ever again. Or I don't know. He flip-flops a lot on this man. It's kind of frustrating to see follow here. But right now, sSaK is the king. He's the guy that it seems like nobody can touch. And, I think it's very fair to say he is by far the best player in the world. We'll see if he takes the season as well.
Yeah. Right now, a very quick scout comes out from Mini. He did open with Gateway as well. Not surprising to see that at all, I think. There was no way that Mini wasn't going to open with at least one Gateway here against a new player in ASL. You know, he's definitely going to want to keep that pressure on. He's a very aggressive Protoss vs. Zerg player in the early game almost always. But it is a pull first from Saber. He denies that first hatchery, and Saber has to go to the third base location. But that's all right. Not a huge deal, something you deal with all the time on the ladder.
So the Zealot's going to come out now. And we have the probe looping around here in the map. The third hatchery is going to go where the natural expansion usually is. We did see Mini do a pylon block to drive that away. It's always good to be active with the probe and pylon block if you have a Zealot coming out to just try to control the game in that sense. Is he going to try to actually gas steal? Okay, I saw that probe coming up. I'm like, I've never seen this, but, it does feel very Mini-like. If you were to like gas steal just to buy time, that would
be weird.
Well, gas steal is basically terrible versus Zerg, but Mini does so many weird things and breaks so many conventional rules about the matchup. Anyways, the two Zealots are going to put pressure here, and he's going to try to go for a wedge. He wants to get behind the mineral patch at the natural, maybe even in the main here. The probe is killed, and the probe is, believe it or not, the most important part of the rush when you do this, because the probe has the ability to let Zealots two-shot Lings instead of three-shot them. So one Zealot's going to run. He does get a wedge off with one Zealot here in the back. And decent control here by Mini. I mean, he's still getting work done. He's doing a great job targeting.
I think it's really good control from Saber as well. Like, I think he did a really good job here. He's already cleared two of them, and the other one has taken some damage. He killed the probe. Like, you know what? I think he's put out a good game. Wow, look at this angle he's got that Zealot at. I wasn't aware of that being, like, one Zergling thick.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the last thing you ever want to do is have the Zerglings fight single file. You want at least two, but, at best three. Maybe one runs around and hits from the other side. But yeah, I mean, look, Mini got a lot of value there. He traded out the Zealots very effectively. He forced out a lot more Lings. Remember, the Protoss can keep making probes the entire time that they're making Zealots, where Zerg have to throttle between, am I making my larva into Lings or drones? So Mini's in a pretty good shape to start this off.
Definitely. Looking at the side of Saber here, he does have that layer on the way. So, it just looks like pretty standard coming out of him. I bet you it's just going to be like Scourge into Hydralisk. Like, I feel like if it's your first ASL, to try to do something that can be as fragile as like opening with a Mutalisk strategy, that's like a recipe for disaster. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you misengage one time and the Corsair shred your mutas, you're basically done.
Yeah, I mean, mutas have their moments. I think you always want to have that as a possibility in like a set of build orders, like in a series.
Yeah.
You don't want to be known as a guy who always goes mutas or a guy who never goes for mutas. But, people have gotten very good at dealing with this. I mean, 6 years ago in ASL, there was just a lot of muta play in general, including from players like Soma. I mean, pretty much everybody was using them a decent amount, but I think it kind of forced a lot of the Protosses to get very good at dealing with it,
Definitely. And here's a funny thing, like a lot of them still aren't all that good. Like we saw the other day someone lose a bunch of their Corsairs and then just go down, and it's like, oh my God. you gotta keep these alive. Even if they've switched to Hydras, you gotta kind of maintain your Corsair count so they can't just switch back and end up killing you.
I can't believe this. He's gonna run by with this one Zealot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was Stork. I can't believe he got that back there. That is so funny.
Yeah. Second cannon coming up to avoid any Zergling run-bys, moving out with this additional group of Zealots as well. So that's kind of forcing him to stay back a little bit. Hydralisk Den is already out, so he can start poking those a little bit. And Corsair going to go after an Overlord right now while he pressures.
Yeah, he wants to try to kill off any Overlords. Excuse me. He wants to try to kill off any Overlords before the Scourge come out. So if he can get that, that'll really curb the progress here of what Saber's trying to do.
I don't know if he'll find that other one. Yeah, it looks like he'll back up. Oh, double Stargate. Well, he sees the gas timing. Maybe he's looking at it and saying, okay, this looks very much like it's going to be a heavy Mutalisk play. But This makes me a little bit nervous for Mini, because he does stuff like this, man. It's best of 1 against Saber. I want to say that even if Saber's going Muta, that Mini will be okay on 1 Stargate. But you know what? If he actually hits like a big Hydra timing, that's how 2 Stargate Corsair ends up losing a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, I find this a hard build to pull off, the double Stargate.
Yeah.
If you can catch them off guard, like if they tech into mutas and you do this, like you're in such good shape. It's very difficult to deal with. It's why the Scourge Scout is so important. And, you know, Scourge have some of the lowest vision in the game. I think it might be the lowest vision in the game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's hard, but that's the only thing that can get in there safely to see that. So the Zerg has to be very, very thorough in what they, where they go, because they, you know, they need to see that second Stargate. Now, the problem when you go for double Stargate, let's see if he sees it. He's parked in here. That's not close enough to spot the Stargate yet. But the point I was going to make is we see, oh my God, he's going to push it into that second Stargate. When they spot that, a lot of Zergs just win with Mass Hydra, and it's a pretty depressing game.
Mini has to make a ridiculous amount of cannons if he wants to hold on here. By the way, Mini had a big supply block at 66. He didn't recognize, and he built 2 pylons. I checked, and it's like nothing was blinking. He had nothing in production, so that was a massive supply block for this level of play.
It is crazy to think that, like, yeah, even players at this caliber, you know, they get supply blocked. Like, they miss stuff like this. You know, I think we always have this fantasy in our minds of, like, oh, my God, he's like 350 APM. That means he does everything that you could ever do at once. And it's like, no, they miss stuff all the time, actually. I mean, that's the kind of game StarCraft is that you're really, you know, taxed to the absolute limits of your potential here. That's huge. You know, that many Overlord kills, that cuts his supply in half. He's at red 60 of 37.
That's terrible. Oh, man. Saber actually was looking so good this game until he had 4 Overlords sitting on the side there. That is so brutal that Mini goes double Stargate, then just finds every Overlord. And, like, that supply block is probably going to be what costs Saber the potential of a victory here.
Okay, the Corsairs are going to run in, and there's nothing to defend this. No sunk, no anything. The Zealots get a pin there. They hit really hard. And this counterattack, I mean, it looks pretty strong, but I think the cannon count is too high. I mean, this number of cannons with this number of Zealots, I just don't see a world where Saber breaks this. The drones are going to be taking so much damage with these 4 Zealots that are basically, you know, it's going uncontested right now. Pro Pull comes in here, and Mini will, no problem, hold off this attack.
Not just that, but he's dealing damage across the map. So masterclass here from Mini, of course, but a lot of it does come down to killing off all those Overlords, causing a gigantic supply block. I think strategically, Saber had like the better strategy going on for sure. Like he definitely had a lot of potential there. You give that to a seasoned ASL veteran, and they're very likely to beat Mini in this case.
I wonder, does he send the 4 Zealots around because the second Stargate got spotted? Did he just basically predict the Hydra timing attack?
Well,
and that's how he got in there? I didn't really see where the 4 Zealots came from.
He saw Hydra's popping, and the Scourge saw his second Stargate. So you have to look at that and say, okay, he is going to attack me. So I think he just threw down extra cannons and sent the Zealots around, because it's like, well, he is going to attack, so I need at least counter damage, because this could be bad. But I think if those Overlords don't go down, this game is like really close. But right now, looking at it, 46 supply block to 90 is insanely Mini favored.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is such a small Zerg. You know, usually when Protoss beat Zergs, it's like as we get to the later part of the mid game, like before we go into end game, and it's with a push. The same way that Terran usually kills Zerg with a push. Doesn't mean they have to, but like when they win, usually that's how it goes down. This is such a small Zerg, I can't imagine Mini not able to finish them off here. The Corsairs are going to come in, and it's going to be another big supply block here. This time it's going to be with DTs, so he's really doing a double punish. The fact that the DTs now can't be seen, and the Zerg can't make anything because the Overlords have been killed off. He's going to run back in from the side here, but as long as he keeps the DT on the outside, yeah, just like that, he can keep killing drones. I mean, this damage is insane.
Yeah, this game is really over at this point. He's absolutely everywhere. Saber put up a pretty good fight, I think, overall for his first ASL game. But yeah, Mini just crushing. GG. And Saber goes that loser match. Of course, Mini moves forward to the winner match as anticipated.
Yeah, that was... I mean, look, Mini played a pretty perfect game. Got not one, but two Zealots wedged in there early on. Did the counterattack with the Zealots when the Hydras hit. The Corsairs definitely, they got the job done. There was no way to protect those Overlords. And there was, what was it, 4 or 5 stray Overlords in the kind of upper center right?
Yeah, I think
that were just executed. It seemed like he wanted, he wanted to like hide them in plain sight. And there's something to that. But then when they get spotted, I mean, now you're just in a situation where you can't even make anything. And Mini's going to be growing so fast. So easy win for Mini. And that's going to do it for game number 1.
I'm looking forward to this second match a little bit more. I think Soma sSaK is probably a closer one. And yeah, Mini looking strong so far today. Good to see. I do want to see him advance for sure. We want to keep that Protoss number up as we go into the round of 16, since they are a little bit on life support this season. But so far, so good.
Yeah, great game. I'm curious if we're going to get a highlight or not from that. But, Mini, I mean... Okay, we will not. We'll be going to a break, guys. Coming up next, Soma versus sSaK. We will be right back.
Made for the best. Made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design, a quantum leap in speed, optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling, and a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
Up, must come down. The energy you give it coming back around. Give it everything you gotta never settle down. If we had beat before, then it's settled now. Confidence, my prominence, applying my dominance. Standing in my way, better move back. Keep my weight tight like two rags. Cause people test you like a number 2 pencil, but I ain't come here for no games. If you let them, then they bound to get you, so I keep it hotter than a flame. Look, I don't complain, I simply maintain. Standing tall in the manifest. I'm not ashamed, my master's the game. I'm with all cuz I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. Cuz I'm the best.
They threw sticks and stones, broke broken bones, it's tragic. But that's not the way it's gonna stay. Oh, got no time to breathe, they suck the sleeve like magic. Feels like magic, magic. Oh, they threw sticks and stones, broke broken bones, it's tragic. But that's not the way it's gonna stay. Oh, got no time to breathe, they suck the sleeve like magic. ASL Season20 20.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're going to go into this next match here. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit closer. Mini kind of flexing versus that Zerg there. He couldn't have made it easier. I mean, Zergs, even when they die, they normally don't die that fast, right?
Yeah.
The damage just piled up so quickly.
No, it's wild, too, because Saber actually had the build order counter. Mini went into a double Stargate that wasn't appropriately timed against Mutalisks. Saber even faked one Muta to sell it, and, getting those Overlords caught was a crucial mistake. So, unfortunate for Saber. I hope that he can play well in the loser match. But yeah, we're going to go into our next match coming up here pretty quickly, and that's going to be Soma versus sSaK. And yeah, I mean, Soma versus sSaK should be kind of an interesting one. sSaK mostly plays really technical Terran versus Zerg openers. Like, he's likely to get like a factory or do a science vessel rush, like that type of thing, where you can mess up the math of what Zerg is used to dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, sSaK, I think he's got a shot here. I think Soma should win. But yeah, this is one, like, probably, honestly, out of the entire group and all the matchups, this is probably the closest one. And then I would say, assuming if Soma wins here, then Soma Mini should also be very close. That could go either way for sure.
Yeah.
But let's see what they do here. It's going to be back to that same map that we were just on. You know, we're going to be on Dominator here. I wouldn't say that one player is necessarily favored here on that either. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah. Well, Dominator, actually, that suits sSaK really well as far as the map goes, because I think it's a pretty solid map for playing against SK Terran overall. It's like a little bit hard to defend Mutalisk Harassment on it. But sSaK generally doesn't play just a standard SK Terran. He does, of course, sometimes, but I think he's much more likely to mix in things like a Valkyrie Rush or Quick Science Vessel or even Wraith Defense, that type of thing. So I think a lot of it will come down to just kind of what the opening builds are and whether or not Soma can kind of scout and have a high degree of understanding as to what sSaK is doing. Because Soma is like a god tier Zerg. I actually think that he's one of the very top favorites this season. He's in such good shape, and I think he understands the game better than most of the pros.
I feel like Soma, maybe he doesn't have the same kind of star power as some of these other Zergs, but yeah, whenever I cast his games, I'm like, damn, this guy is crazy strong.
So strong.
And he's got a very subtle approach to the game, you know, in what he does. So this will be a good one. You know, both these guys have been in more ASLs than I can count, right? So these guys are going to be very comfortable, very relaxed, a very different dynamic. You can even see I don't know what they're typing to each other, but they're clearly sending each other some funny messages. They're going to be comfortable, so we should be seeing a great game. Probably a close one, guys, as we go into this. Remember, the winner of this goes up against Mini here in the winner's match coming up next. Okay, Soma here in the center right, and that puts sSaK here in the very top left corner here. Sending all of his workers over here to the right side. Is that, I guess, with every race, do you want to send all the workers to the right side patches? Is that a faster spot to mine from it at the top left?
It is not. Like, it might be easier to clone out, but
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
If you go from top left to bottom right, and you number the patches, 1 and 3 are the best mining patches by miles. Like that with 0 mineral boosting, where you do return cargo tricks and realign minerals all the time and stuff like that. So with none of that at that position, I get like a 137 gas all the time. It's insane. It's the best mining position of any map that we have. Like the easiest by far.
This is why I was asking, is I saw that spot, I thought, oh, he sent the SCVs there. I thought maybe I don't understand that spot. Just to be clear, guys, like each patch has a different level of priority for where you want to send the first worker, or the fifth worker, the sixth worker, right? And some patches are fast on their own, like the workers will mine very efficiently from them. Others, they might require you to mineral boost, and as Artosa said, you use the return cargo key. I think the default for that is C, or at least it's C on my keyboard. But and then you can get the worker to realign, kind of repath into more of a straight line as it's returning the resources. This is, by the way, stuff you don't need to do to be a good player and have a good time. But when you're one of the best of all time, it is important. It matters.
I ignored mineral boosting until the beginning of this year, and I've had quite a career in StarCraft, and I didn't really need it, but I got to a level where I was like, okay, I'm actually starting to lose a lot of games based on early building timings. So until you until you get really good guys, you don't really have to worry about the mineral boosting. But it is an important thing to mention for these things because seconds make differences in StarCraft. Like when you get to super, super high levels, it really does.
I started mineral boosting 2 years ago, and it took me a while. I can do it now, but like it's really easy to mess up your builds while you're doing it.
While
or
you're
like,
learning
miss
it,
something
you
important.
get worse before you get better.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like you're having to learn how to dribble a basketball while you're playing StarCraft now.
True.
There's like this other extra task that you're juggling where you're coming back. I mean, how long does it take for a worker to mine a patch and
Like
then return
8
it?
seconds.
So yeah, so basically every 8 seconds you go back. Usually there's one dedicated patch you can mineral boost from, and you'll go back there and flick the return cargo key, and they'll path back a little bit quicker. And I mean, there's certain matchups like, I remember my brother kind of understanding this concept when we were really little. He just at least knew that some patches were better than others, and I guess Zergs have to figure that out first because they have less workers in the game overall. So they would immediately see like, oh, well, this patch, it takes longer to return from, so I always want to go here. But Terran and Protoss, you just make a lot of workers, so you kind of forget about it. But like as an example, in PvP, you're on one base a lot of the time, right? And so that's a lot of extra mineral boosting you can do if you can figure out how to fit it in.
All mineral boosting and patch prioritization was, in fact, discovered and kind of started by Zergs because ZVZ is so unforgiving like that. So it was like became incredibly important to the point where certain spawns, I've heard Zergs like, oh no, I can't win ZVZ from this spawn because it just mines slower on some of the older maps. But
Right.
yeah, good point there.
This is
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Artosis.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, sSaK did an expansion that looks like it's a bio opener, but he went into a very fast factory afterwards. But Soma already recognizes, I think partially because it's sSaK, what's going on, and he makes that sunken colony right away. So he, like, Soma's position here, like, he's not going to die to a vulture. But look at this. sSaK is like, I'm not even going to try a vulture. He's getting an add-on right away, and he's getting a starport. So this could be like a Valkyrie rush, we'll see. It could be that he tries with Wraith. It could be that he goes Science Vessel. It's very hard to say, but with the armory, that solves it right there. It's going to be Valkyrie.
Okay. Valkyrie it is. This is... I don't think this is going to be too surprising here for Soma. I mean, there's a range of different things that can come at you here. When you'd only see those, few Marines there, I think right away you're not that worried about a push, right? Unless the Terran is kind of doing something really ingenious to disguise, what's going on.
That's a fact. Like you have to look at this and think that there's a vulture most likely going to be coming out. It could be a mech build though, right? It could be like heavy Guardian or heavy Goliath. We'll see what Soma thinks it is because there's a possibility that he pops out a couple Scourge very early on here. If he thinks that it's like a Valkyrie opener.
So it's been a quiet game so far. Basically both sides have been sealed up. The teching has begun. The first 6 Mutalisks are going to hatch in a second here. And, I've mentioned this before, but it does keep happening. I do feel like the worst unit control we've had in ASL is probably the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
We just see a lot of players lose them, and it might be because the Valkyrie was the only thing that got like a slight tweaking and adjusting in Remastered. And so historically these units haven't been used as much. I also think it's a hard unit to control.
It is.
Like if you had like a score for control, like if like the way you get handling like in Twisted Metal or something, you know what I mean? Like is the car sluggish or is it the control tight? The Valkyrie is actually just really hard to kind of micro and do tricks with, where like a Mutalisk, as an example, is like an S tier perfect unit that you can do almost anything with.
Yeah, the Valkyrie's control it's actually really similar to the Chinese triangle for Mutalisks, which is a very, very advanced micro trick that actually Sulky's very well known for destroying with, which we can discuss at a different time. But like, it is a very tricky thing. You actually have to patrol away at a funny angle. So you have to be like very on top of where you are spatially compared to what you're trying to attack.
Oh, I know what this is. I've tried to do this with Corsairs and failed. You mean where they can shoot behind themselves, sort of?
No, not exactly. Yeah, it is kind of like that. But yeah, hold on a second. We actually have him in here. He has 4 Scourge, so he's going after the Valkyries. If you keep these Valks alive, okay, he's going to lose 1 right away. I was going to say, like, if you can retain the Valkyries in this type of game, you're going to crush. But so far, Soma's hunted down one. He's going to get another one, and he's going to get the third. And yeah, so that's...
This is just...
Well, there you go.
I'm glad I mentioned that we see the Valkyries get killed so often because, like, I don't mean to be redundant, but, like, the amount of times we see that this get shut down, like, it's just, you know, it's a street thug versus a professional boxer, and it's just he's never able to maneuver away, and it's so easy for the Mutas to come out and basically bait a fight and then just whip around with the Scourge and the Mutas and take him out. And everything that sSaK's done has been ripped to shreds right now. I mean, the units he was teching into, he's lost 3 Valkyries. This was like the core tech that he was going into. Meanwhile, the Zerg is going to get to expand unstopped. In some way, I don't mean to exaggerate, but I think it is possible for this to just get worse here for the Terran. I mean, the Muta count's so high. There's going to need to be so many turrets here just to make sure you don't die. Oh my God, he gets another one.
This is getting really problematic, losing 4 Valkyries. Imagine if you have 4 Valkyries here. You have 4 or 5 Valkyries, you can just attack, move, and kill everything. Right? There's like a certain amount you can lose, but the amount he's lost has been too much. And I actually want to explain this for a second, guys. So, like, Mutalisks they can basically move and attack at the same time if you're microing them heavily. Valkyries have a very, very long attack animation, and they go immobile during it. And the whole micro is to make them slide away from the Mutalisks at the beginning of the animation. But you need additional anti-air near them to prevent things like the Scourge or Muta getting on top of them during that freeze in the attack animation. Yeah,
it's there's a lot of stuff you can do with certain air units that is so crazy. And unfortunately, you know, sSaK, what he wants to have is an amount of Valkyries where if the Mutas get close to him, they get obliterated, right? The spread damage is insane from them. Like Corsairs, you know, they'll kill Mutas really, really well, but they don't even have the same kind of spreading, punishing damage that Valkyries have. Like, you cannot have them in a control group with a Larva or an Overlord, right? And have them really spread out, and you'll still lose everything. But right now, it's going to be really hard. Again, okay, that actually doesn't kill it. I thought that was going to be another one going down. But, I mean, this is getting brutal. I'm worried that Terran is going to be so weak on the map, and the Muta's so uncontested that the Zerg's just going to come in here with the Mutalisks and everything else and smash the Terran.
Well, from here, you have to start deciding how this game is going to look going forward. I see 2 different options for sSaK. He can either go mass dropship here and try to just bully like the main base and the expansions, or he can switch to mech. And we see as we jump back here that he is choosing the mech switch at this point, which I don't think is like a bad choice. The problem here, though, is that if you're going to go mech against Zerg, realistically, you kind of need 4 bases. And I don't see him being anywhere close to being able to do that.
The fact that he switched into factories now, I think this is going to give the Zerg so much more room to do what they want. I don't know if I agree with this as a decision to try to move into the next phase of the game at all. Hive Tech's going to be done. This is going to be a game where the Zerg is going to be making sure you never get a third base. And I think you're never going to have the mech units you need.
Hey!
Wow, okay, so that's what I was talking about earlier. You know, eventually you got enough and the Mutas are low enough, then there's not, you know, nothing they can do and they get wiped. The problem is that I think that happened too late in the game. Right now there's just so much at the disposal here of Soma.
Well, he's running around. You know, the bio, generally what it's trying to do here is zone everything out and give you room to get your factories up and to get your expansions up. He is getting factories up. Like, he's running around, he's laying some mines, he does have those vultures to play with, and, well, there's the 3rd command center. Okay, so that's like a start, but his production isn't super great, his upgrades aren't super great, his tech isn't super great. Like, there's no advantages at the moment for sSaK, but sometimes you can make some magic happen with vultures. You know, you lay the mines just right, you micro, you find a way in, kill some drones. Like, vultures can do some magic stuff if controlled correctly and the right opportunity opens up.
Just imagine the Valkyries had stayed alive this whole game. and there's vulture mines everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you know how hard it would be to clear the map? You're going to have no overlords out there. The overlord's a liability if it gets killed off there. You know, and the Zerg has to spend, you know, lings or anything else just running into mines to kind of clear that up.
Well, those last Valkyries looking like they might end up going down. Oh, that was really good micro from sSaK to save one of those. I really didn't think he'd get one out, but keeps one alive, so that's something at least. You know, we might actually end up seeing this game end with a Mutalisk tech switch eventually because there's only one Valkyrie. And, you know, sSaK is going to have to focus heavily on getting some siege tanks out. So that makes me a little bit nervous because then you're not as likely to make some Goliaths. His Marine count is very low. And look at the zoning play here from Soma, just spreading out those lurkers. Like he is really just trying to hit his macro at the moment.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's got more vultures coming through here. The vulture's a funny unit because this was like never really used versus Zerg in the early days. You know, it was just considered, you know, other than like kind of weird stuff like you're going to have 1 or 2 out early or you're going to do something cheesy. But yeah, it turns out spider mines are really hard to deal with. And, you know, the vultures can outmaneuver quite a bit. And they're actually not even bad against stuff like Ultralisks, you know, in the late game. Like they do an okay amount of damage. They can outmaneuver that.
Well, I have to fight back against okay amount of damage against Ultras unless you're talking about the mines. Because Vultures, like, Vultures almost,
well, I guess,
they heal Ultras. But
well, I mean, nothing's great against Ultras,
yeah.
I guess Scarabs from Reavers
yeah,
are good
there
against
you go.
them, but yeah, no.
A direct siege tank
are,
blast until the Ultra gets on top of the siege tank, perhaps. But, yeah, actually... Vultures, back at the very beginning of StarCraft 1, were considered one of the worst units in the game. People did, like, in the very beginning, people thought you were trolling if you even made them, until some Terran players like B-Blade leaders started to use them regularly. But yeah, I mean, you can't really scoff at the fastest unit in the game, that's for sure.
Yeah. I actually have this really vivid memory of, like, one of the first lands I ever went to when I was, like, old enough that I could go. And, it was like in Los Angeles, and like, you remember the player Weir?
Yeah.
Yeah, Weir was there, and there was like some guy with, I guess, like a New Jersey or like Boston accent behind him. He was going, "This guy makes the little fast spider bike things." He goes, "I always thought those things sucked, but I guess he makes them all the time." Like,
yeah.
It was just a funny moment. I'm like, yeah, I guess everybody has these moments where they're watching the game. And they go, oh, like, you know, I guess zealots are bad versus lurkers, or yeah.
Yeah. All right, so as we've been reminiscing a bit, we can see the game state has changed. Like we have for sSaK here, 4 bases up, so that's really important. That's super crucial. He has a good amount of mines on the map zoning things, but already queens are being created. And okay, you see those scans that are going down. He's checking for the queens. That's like one of the most important things is recognizing when queens will come out. So like, do you have a timing attack that'll work here? Or are you going to try to stop the queens in a different way? And that's very difficult.
Yeah, and the queens are there to broodling the siege tanks. Basically, if you broodling one siege tank with one queen, the queen is paid for itself. Oh my god, that is so painful. There's nothing, you know, this is one of those things like it would just never fly in a new game. It's just the fact that lurkers can burrow underground, and it's like, oh, Terran can't kill that unless you can manage to click on it with a science vessel that has irradiate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you could even find the little pothole, the little black circle to click on. But yeah, I mean, this is just so brutal right now. If a lurker gets over to where the SCVs are mining and burrows, like there's nothing you can do to stop it, you know.
For sure.
It's going to force everything to pick up and leave.
The Defiler is the strongest unit ever made in any RTS. It is absolutely insane, and nothing like it will ever be designed in any game again.
It's stronger than anything in any video game ever. It's stronger than the AWP in Counter-Strike. It's stronger than it's like better than, you know, whatever is the highest tier character in Street Fighter. It's better than Akuma at his best in Street Fighter. The Defiler is, I can't think of anything that is stronger than this.
It counters literally everything. in all races.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's
It's
just
like Dark Swarm alone is like the best thing ever, but it's like, oh, but it also has Plague.
yeah.
So in situations where you like don't have anything to fight with it, I'm like, well, you can make all its units be 1 HP forever,
Yeah.
unless they can heal it.
Infinite energy. Like, all right, sick.
It's like, well, that's good, but I mean, it doesn't have endless mana, right? I'm like, oh no, it does. It actually can eat the cheapest unit in the game, the Zergling, and it can do that indefinitely.
yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, but you don't mean there's like no cooldown on that? Like, surely, what, it has like a 10-second cooldown? I'm like, no, watch, it'll just, yum, just like that. Boom. Another spell down here.
Crazy unit. So, yeah, he throws those down. The Lurkers become invincible. He's probably going to force a cancel in the command center, which is a little bit rough, but we'll see. There are, like, a few tricks you can use against the Lurker under Dark Swarm. Like, if another unit runs by it, the splash might end up hitting it. Some Ultras mixed in now as well. Ultra's not particularly good against mech, but they can be. They have their place where they have the health where they can actually close and get on top of the siege tank. Sometimes they get dropped out onto mech as well. And so,
I mean, I think anything that does melee damage that can go under Dark Swarm is going to be good, right?
For
it's
sure.
nice to have something tanky besides just Lings and, well, I guess Lings aren't tanky, but, something to, once the damage has been tanked, the Ultra can get in there and do some work.
Now, here come the Queens. So that right there is the potential of 9 tanks dying instantly. You have to hit the spells, but we'll see if he's able to get them.
So I think the correct way to play, like on paper, is to try to EMP the cluster of Queens. It is not to irradiate them, because they can just ignore the irradiate and run in there, just go on a suicide mission and kill them. We don't really see it. I don't think we've had EMP on Queens in ASL yet. But see, like in a moment like this, I look at this and I go, well, an EMP blast would have killed that.
Yes.
Or not killed that, but would have completely stopped that. And you'd have to go back and accumulate another 150 mana and try again later.
Yeah, no one's pulled it off yet.
No one's doing it?
No one, not yet. But like I've seen Speed try it. He's the only person I've seen really attempt doing that. I think you're right, though. I think like EMP will probably become the go-to counter against them.
Yeah, I think it's so obvious, but it feels like people aren't using it yet. But like, I mean, that stops that immediately, and Irradiate does it. So it's either Terrans are going to let that keep happening, or they're going to start to get that answer there. But it is crazy to think of EMP used in this matchup. EMP is normally primarily used against Protoss. And then it can be used against battlecruisers and TVT when you want to deny them, that end game Yamato cannon. So you Yamato their battlecruisers, they can't Yamato you back because you've EMP'd them, and then you win the game.
That's right. That's right. And I think you're right, though, that if mech continues to be used, eventually someone's going to figure that out. Now, Ultra Ling swarming into this 4th base, it really feels like Soma is tearing sSaK apart at this point. sSaK still has good supply, though, so I don't expect him to leave like right off. But I feel like he needs to hit bottom left if he wants a chance in this game still.
Yeah. Soma is getting so gargantuan in size. He's maxing out. He's having armies that are so big you can't even bind them to all the hotkeys that are available to you. You can't bind them all the way from 1 up to 9 over to 0. So he's grabbing just chunks of 12 units and sending them on rampages to try to topple different positions here. And, Terran, they have a hard time taking half the map. The only time they really can take half the map is against another Terran, right? Terrans are always kind of squished into this corner. And, Zerg is quite the opposite. Zerg can take the whole map. So we're at a point in the game where the Zerg doesn't worry so much about trading efficiently as just keeping Terran where they are and ideally keeping bases smashed or being rebuilt.
Yeah, the bases are being completely destroyed right now. Like, he's having a hard time keeping his mining going. Soma he continues to send. Uh-oh, here come the... Okay, he's just got it. He's going to GG. There's really nothing left now. Like, the Queens have gotten
another moment
sets. Yeah, it's bad.
Another EMP. I mean, that would have stopped this, but instead, I think that was 6 tanks total. Were just wiped out right there. Not that he would have won the game had that happened, but, like, yeah, this is, like, pretty bad. I think we probably will see sSaK fizzle out here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. He's still on 4 bases. Hey. It feels like there's barely anything here. We don't see waves of red, kind of almost like they're being pulled by magnets, come up to the upper center here. But that's because Soma's just busy making out of all of his hatcheries. But that will eventually happen again here.
Oh, man, the Darkstorms, he's about to GG. You know, we got to say, though, remember, this started with a Valkyrie rush where he lost the first, like, 4 Valkyries instantly. So the fact that he made it into a 22-minute game is, like, that in and of itself shows sSaK isn't playing particularly poorly today. It's just tough when that happens in the early game and you get nothing for your tech rush.
Okay. Great game. You know, it's kind of sad to see that sSaK lost at this point in time a number of Valkyries I wasn't even quite able to keep track of. He lost like every Valkyrie that came out died. Eventually he had 2 that did a little bit of damage, but you know, Soma kind of kept the lead throughout that. It was a fairly easy endgame. You know, sSaK wasn't really ever able to push out on the map or deny anything. Honestly, never even able to create pressure. So we got Soma versus Mini coming up, and I'm really looking forward to that. That should be by far the best game of the whole day, right?
That could be a finals, for real, not joking. Like, these
Sure.
guys have both been in multiple finals and stuff. Like, that's going to be an insane match. So, quick commercial break. When we come back, Soma versus Mini.
Made for the best. Made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design. A quantum leap in speed. Optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling. And a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
but I'm too deep inside my back. Winning on my mind, I don't need a CAT scan. Heart of a giant, leaving footprints in the land. Trying to count me out, you gon' need an extra hand. I just hit another level. I just hit another level. I done hit another level. I done hit another level. I took the good with the bad, the pain with the love. Can't complain or brag. It did what it does. Took the good with the bad, the pain with the love. Can't complain nor brag. You can't count me out. 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 Whoever tried to count me out can't count.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited for this next match. Mini versus Soma. This is going to be so good.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. That song that was playing during the commercial, can't count me out. Can't count me out. That person who counted me out can't count. It's like, oh, my God.
That's what it said?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that they're picking these songs kind of unaware that these are just terrible lyrics. It's like somebody asked me, like, the music they play at ASL, is that like generated by an AI or what? And I'm like, maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, my
There's been a
gosh,
couple
yeah.
times, you know, and I think that they have a decent ear at soup for like some beats and some feels, but sometimes when the lyrics come, I'm like, oh no, if you speak English, that's a very very silly sounding.
Someone told me one of the songs during the commercial break was like, "Come all ye faithful" the other day. It's like, oh my God. Oh.
ASL Season20.
All right, guys, we are going into this next game. The winner is going to move on into the round of 16. The loser will face off in our final match here in this ASL. Okay. Soma sending his overlord to the south now. He spawns on the left, and we have Mini here on the right, both sharing the top. On this map that is a reimagining of circuit breakers.
That's right. It's I love this updated version. It's just got so many cool paths around it, and lots of different ways to intercept people moving on those paths. So very, very fun. So I gotta throw this out there about it because this is the matchup I think this map was mostly invented for. The 3-hatch Hydra Rush should be much weaker here because of that little divot you see there. That's low ground. So if you place your cannons correctly, the Hydras have to take tons of free shots, and some of the Hydras are going to be missing half of their shots shooting uphill. So this should make it so that 3-hatch Hydra is a terrible build on the map. So how will Mini specifically abuse that? Because he is the greediest Protoss that exists.
Yes, that's true, Artosis, but if Lings can get little skateboards, they can ride down it like it's a half pipe and then come up over the top of the wall and attack in that way. No, I think it's a cool feature on this map. This map does look like they made the monsters from Tremors, like just kind of move through the map and then create these shapes here. So
now you're messing with my brain
like,
because these are divots, not little hills.
Oh, but no, didn't they leave like a big kind of like divot in the ground?
Oh, was it a divot?
I thought
it might have been.
Yeah, well, they're underground Artosis. How would it have been the other way around?
Well, because when you move,
oh no, I guess I see what you're saying.
It would make the ground pop up. Yeah.
There were both of those in different parts of the movie.
Tasteless,
I remember what you're saying.
Tasteless thinks he's a Tremors scientist. Is so funny, as if you're some sort of.
He thinks he's a Tremors zoologist. Listen, he's never even touched a tremor.
Yeah.
He's never even held a baby tremor. I love that we're calling them Tremors. It's like the name of the movie. It's the name of the movie, and it like which just means vibrations in the ground, and it's like that's what the monsters are called now.
You never even held a tremor, Tasteless.
Yeah.
Have you ever dissected a tremor? What's wrong with you? Oh my God.
This is like calling the killer in the movie Scream, like calling him a Scream. It's so stupid.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That's the best part of the ending of that movie is you find out there's 2 Screams in the end.
I love that. It's so funny. While we've been chatting, it's been a 9 pool, and he's blocked both hatcheries and almost killed a drone. That's cool. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's already got 2 cannons. As far as I'm concerned, he can go up into 8 gates and Storm at this point.
You know, it's really annoying when you're Protoss and you face a 9 pool without speed, because I think you still have to get 2 cannons no matter what, which feels awful because, you know, basically 6-lings can just run up and kill your 1 cannon. Like, you don't have like any other help. You don't have a Zealot out in that time or anything. So yeah, it usually goes 2 cannons, Nexus, into the gateway, the pylon, the gas, like we're seeing Mini at now here. But yeah, I mean, while we were goofing around at the start of the show, Mini did do a great job slowing down and curbing progress with you know, the hatcheries getting set up and all that development. I want to see what kind of tech Mini goes for. I feel like he's the most unpredictable Protoss as you enter into like the early game. Like when the cybernetics core finish, it's like, okay, all bets are off. Like, what is Mini going to make? Is it going to be a second Stargate? Will he skip Stargate entirely? You know, he's got some really obtuse ways to approach the mid game.
He uses like more different ideas than most players. He has things mapped so well. I really appreciate just having him as a player. I think is a very special thing. You know, someone who practices more in single player than multiplayer, who has these timings down to a level other players don't, who thinks about the game a bit differently. Whereas Soma over here is like, I think he's just like a god of understanding. Like, if he knows what you're doing, he'll probably win. Like, I think you have to kind of catch him off guard, because a lot of Zerg theory actually comes from him. When he went to the military, Zerg players were talking about how this is going to be a dark era for Zerg, because Soma was the strategic leader. He was the one explaining what to do, showing what to do in all the matchups. Of course, sSaK came around and has had the most dominating run we've had in modern StarCraft, so that wasn't the case, but like, Soma's still there. He went to military, but he was practicing so hard anyways. He kept his level up, and he's in unbelievable shape. And like, if he figures out what Mini's up to, how is Mini going to end up beating him? Like, Soma has ridiculously good Zerg versus Protoss.
He sent 2 Zealots through the blind spot, and it didn't get spotted by that Overlord either. Now, 2 Zealots hidden like this, if he can come out at the right time, he could definitely surprise the Zerg here. By the way, we do have a Stargate started here. We don't know if there's going to be a second one. Did he see this leave? It's actually insane that these Zealots got this far out here. I feel like we only ever see Bisu get away with something like this. Now, he can go attack the drones and then go into the upper left part of this expansion and hide in that wedge position. Or he could lose them.
He could just right-click the hatchery and lose everything, too.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
Oh, man. For all that hard work, sneaking them around, it doesn't feel like he's getting that much. Like, Soma's not having to make more lings or anything. He's going to clear that. A couple more Zealots are up at the top, but it looks like he's withdrawing them right now.
Back at home for the Zerg. I mean, development is coming along. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I thought that was... Okay, so he is going to get a hatchery. I had to do a double take there. I thought the first building was a hatch, and it was actually a creep colony. But he cancels that and makes a hatch instead. It's important he gets all these hatches up, because that's really where the production kicks off, and he can start to be aggressive on the map. By the way, you know, this is interesting to me. We've seen an uptick in Protosses hunt for Overlords and not do an across-the-map scout, and I'm really interested in why this is happening.
I don't know. That is a good point. I guess.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think it has to have something to do with keeping your probe scout alive long enough that you know it's not a 3-hatch Hydra. Because, like, the game's like you have to send it across if you're not sure, because otherwise you'll just die. So I think it has to do with keeping that probe alive and getting the right signs. By the way, this is another double Stargate opener. Why is Mini doing this so much? Well, Soma does like mutas.
Yeah, actually, I think Soma probably goes for mutas more than anybody.
He really does.
In this matchup, right? I feel like every game we see at least 5 mutas made. This is an unusual time to attack here. This is like +1. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, +1 is done. I think he went for... So there's a really weird build I saw Snow do a long time ago. Oh my God.
Oh my God, man. Dude, the flick shots
so
back
good.
are
he's
insane.
nasty. Oh, he's a nasty.
Dude, this is the best Corsair micro I've ever seen.
Nasty. Well, that one he just headbutts one of them. He's like, I don't care. I'll take the damage.
Dude, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was so insane. He got +1 really early. I was going to mention he doesn't have Zealot's speed done, and then I was thinking he doesn't even have a Citadel done. So he went for +1 attack slow Zealots with early Corsair pressure. I've seen Snow do this once. That's what I was trying to say before I got captivated by that Corsair micro. And I saw him do it, and I thought, I'm going to remember this, and I'm going to do this, and then I forgot about it, and I never saw it again up until now. Wow. And it was a pretty sharp timing. He got in there. The Zerg did lose some stuff. You know, a lot of times Zergs really basically feel safe until Zealot speed is done, which takes a while.
Dude, how do you do that insane flick shot micro with the Corsairs? That was so crazy. I can't believe how quickly he gunned down the Scourge like that. I've seen people try that, but I've never seen it that successful.
So I actually texted Scan a long time ago and asked him, and he sent me this image, and it's they have to be moving towards them, or they have to be moving away, and then you have to click at a, how do I say this? It's not 180 degrees, it'd be 130 degrees behind them, and when they turn for whatever reason, it's they flip over. You know what I mean? Instead of turn, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think you have to use patrol. I can't remember.
It's somewhat similar to Valkyrie micro, actually. It's a little bit similar to that, is what it sounds like.
Okay, because, we were talking about that in the other game. I was trying to do it, and I kind of thought I would just eventually, it would start happening in my games, and I lost so many Corsairs I stopped doing it. But, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Because, look, if the Zerg loses a couple Scourge and they don't do anything, they lose control of the game immediately, right? You don't have any answer for the Corsairs. Look at this. He's literally splitting the mutas up and hoping that at least, one will get spotted and killed and the others can get away. This muta is literally on a suicide mission to just scout because he knows the Corsairs are going to find it.
So I want to throw something out here. If Mini has mastered this flick shot micro, if he feels completely confident he can gun Scourge down, 2 Stargate Corsair could become standard. Because if you have a group of Corsairs and you can, at 5 or 6, you can start moving out and you're not afraid of losing them, do you know how strong that is? That's insane.
Crazy.
We might, this, if he has this so mastered that he can just move out and doesn't care about Scourge, the game is going to change.
Looks like it's not quite enough Zealots, by the way. Realizes, okay, I got to go back and regroup here. Templars are going to be out. Only 2. It's interesting. Mini's always able to just be much more aggressive than other Protosses with, unit comps that don't make sense. Snow stays back or Rain stays back. They, power up. They're okay, I've got 4 Templars and I've got 12 to 20 Dragoons. I've got my Observers. It's time to push. Whereas, Mini's just out on the map taking fights. And, right now, this feels very dangerous for the Protoss to do because it's just 2 Templars. It's a ton of Hydras. But he is going into the belly of the beast here in the middle of the map and just spamming out storms. And it looks like actually this might have ended up being a mistake. It seems like Soma can kind of close in on this, and the Templars can't get back home. There's a few units in the game that can just never retreat when they're out of position, and Templars are one of them.
That is incredibly true. They cannot outrun anything except maybe a Reaver, I guess. That's about it. Definitely one of the slowest units in the game. But the Corsairs mostly stay alive. He's still got 7 here, and obviously he could refill if he needed, but I don't think we'll see any more mutas this game. His Corsair usage has been super top tier, and it doesn't feel like Soma's made mistakes. It's just been great control from Mini. What is in that shuttle, Tastosis? Is he going DT?
I don't know. I mean, it could be. It could be 4 Zealots to drop at the main. I don't think we had Reaver tech. We haven't actually looked at the Protoss's base that much. No shade on the Observer here. This has been a really action-packed game, but I don't think it would be Reavers, right? So it must be DTs or Zealots.
You would think DT with how good his Corsairs have been. Yeah, there they are. Oh my God, man, this is insane. Mini is putting out a crazy game right now.
Zergs, when the Corsairs pick up, they have to put their overlords in only a few locations. So this is kind of by design. Somebody asked me a while back, like, it always feels like DT's getting the main and Zerg never have overlords there. And it's like, yeah, that's because if they were there, the Corsairs would have gone through and killed them. If you watch these games, the Corsairs fly through the main several times. He did not catch on that this was happening until that DT hit the hatch. So when a DT attacks a unit and kills it, it does not alert the player that's being attacked.
Yeah, if it
never
dies
goes
in
like,
one shot,
are under attack.
That's right. It
like,
does blink
under attack or whatever.
It blinks the mini map and that's it. So like you don't get the verbal communication people use a lot. So that is very, very painful. He loses just about every drone in there, not quite the layer. And it looks like the Corsairs will start to fall a little bit, but I don't think it really matters. Oh my God, he saves one. I don't think it matters that much. Like, Mini has played this game so beautifully, but does he need to walk out and take a third base, or is he going to have like an attack timing to kill him after this much damage?
Well, this is the thing, right? He wants to get a third for sure, and he has to or he's going to lose the game. But because he lost a skirmish in the middle of the map, it let Soma put a Lurker Contain here.
Oh.
Now, the Lurker Contain is going to be really weak because it's not backed by robust economy, right? It's a Zerg on 3 bases, and he lost every drone in his main and nearly lost the hatchery.
Okay.
Also, we were talking about, this area where, the tremors went through.
Yeah.
And now, it's like low ground onto high ground. Well, here's the problem is it's very hard for Dragoons to break a contain here because the Dragoons are going to be standing right. You can see the Observer even showing us. He's clicking on the Lurkers, and he drew a little line through that area. The Dragoons are going to miss their shots firing from low ground to high ground. So this sort of anti-3-hatch Hydra map turns out to be a total nightmare for Protoss if a Lurker Contain comes up.
It's pretty rare you see a Lurker Contain right up at the wall. Maybe Mini was a little bit too gung-ho with the amount of Zealots that he had out on the map. But yeah, if Soma ends up pulling this out because of this Lurker Contain, that's going to be really impressive after the damage he took.
Now, if he can maybe push out the first periphery of Hydras, maybe he can make this work. Okay, he's now not on the low ground anymore, but he is kind of pushing into like this concave. So the damage can come from a lot of different sides. I love the Zealot drop. This is always what you want to do versus a Lurker Contain. Start dropping, because the Zerg can only make the Contain work if they have like almost every single unit outside of your base. The whole idea is that the Protoss can't leave and he can't expand. He runs out of money, he leaves the game. But that drop is forcing Hydras to come back here and fight. God, look at how disgusting this is. Oh, he loses the shuttle. You go from the low ground onto even ground to then fight Hydras on another high ground. This is maybe the strongest Lurker Contain map I've ever seen, and it didn't occur to me until we just saw the Lurker Contain set up, and it's like,
that
wow.
was crazy. That was crazy. I think it's going to be a little bit rare to be able to get into that position. It was a double Stargate opener, so a lot of gas spent early on in that way. I think this map is going to evolve really weirdly, though, after watching this game. Because originally I looked at this, I'm like, oh, this is anti-Hydra bust technology. Like, we're trying to stop sSaK from just running through everybody. And now to see it like this, it's like, oh, okay, there's some counterplay from Zerg there as well with a quick contain. And yeah, I don't know, maybe the answer is to play like a more normal game on this map, like a more rain style, getting your Dragoons quicker so you can't put up that contain so fast. Not entirely sure, but the fact that Soma is fighting back this closely after that much damage is incredible.
There was an opening at the bottom, too, but he chose to not go around it. He just wants to force his way up to where the third is. The probe's coming out here. He needs to expand right away.
Yeah, it looks like he will be able to target
we need more
these
Templars,
down.
man.
No, not very much left over here. He's going to try to take the high ground himself. Just to mention, there's not a lot of buildable terrain there. Oh, he's not mining?
He's like literally mined out.
Crazy.
Oh, my God. That's so funny because, I wasn't actually looking at the minerals, but I was like, yeah, I mean, you will mine out here, so you do need to get this. But, yeah. Now, if either Mini barely survives this in what it literally could not be closer, or Soma is going to clean up. But I don't see that many Hydras, man. Ooh, man, that was not a great storm considering the position we're in. Like, right now, you want a storm that just hits a brick of Hydras.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is just such an insane game. Mini is just out of money. He's going to be popping out High Templars, I think, here because he has a big gas bank. and a very, very low mineral count. Getting a few more drones here with this Dark Templar, so still, you know, getting some sort of value on the harassment side, but loses that as well. Very painful.
Well, look, all Mini has to do is wait for the Nexus to finish. You can see the probes are actually long-distance mining right now. Oh, God, it's a lot of lurkers.
That is a lot of lurkers.
Just like you want to slow down a Terran push, you want to run out here and force him to burrow. But he needs to be careful. He needs to pull these Zealots back.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, I hate it when my Templars do this. They do this, like, waltz or whatever around each other.
I think that's
I think he
it.
should have forced a burrow and then ran back. GG, Mini.
Wow.
Get ready for his poopy face.
What
Mini,
a game.
Always feeling the salt.
Dude, what a game that was. Seriously. That was an insane game. I thought 100% Mini was going to take it, but I guess that one giant Zealot move out, like he just lost too many units and then he got counter-contained from Soma, even after killing all the drones. But I do feel like we'll put a pin in it, but like there might be a meta shift coming in PvZ from this double Stargate stuff.
Mini is so salty right now. Well, we've got 2 Terrans left over. Do you see that classic Mini thing he did right before the camera switch?
Yeah.
He sits there and he looks so mad, and then you can see it's like he's re-experiencing the pain again. He goes, ah!
Yeah. A very emotional player. Very emotional.
So funny. He does it every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we thought, okay, maybe he's going to pull this off. You know, when I was watching this, he actually clears the bottom out, and I thought, oh, well, I guess he's going to be okay. But the expansion he wants to get is above this screenshot here, right there where you see the minerals. And you saw Dragoons already push out from low ground to high ground once. Now they got to do it again. And, you know, my takeaway from this map in this matchup is, like, don't be fancy in the mid-game. Because if it doesn't work, like you're better off just getting a standard push and having an army rallied outside the front of your base.
Yeah.
You know, and then you like
I think you're right.
Either you push with that or you take a third.
Yeah. Utilize the fact that 3-Hatch Hydra isn't super strong on the map to get your production going, and then take the front area so that this can't happen to you.
Yeah, like I actually think the most important moment in the game was when the Zealots and the 2 Templars were killed in the middle of the map, not this.
Yeah.
Because that's what caused this.
Yes. I think you're completely right on that one. And yeah, I guess we're gonna replay the entirety of the game from here. But yeah, Mini was just barely unable to hold this. And the thing is, this was a pretty all-in contain from Soma. If you break the contain, you've got it. All right, quick interview here coming up with Soma.
ASL Season20
You're watching Group C of the round of 24 of ASL Season 20 as we have our first player through to the round of 16 today. It's Soma. Congratulations. Thank you. You've returned after quite some time off and have succeeded in making a speedy round of 16. How do you feel? Today, you know, even when I practiced up until yesterday, I was feeling anxious, but that was not the case today. So I kind of felt I would advance. I'm feeling really good. I'm sure you'll be very happy indeed. When you were starting the first game, you both were joking around and talking about your win rates. Can you walk us through that? Well, as far as I know, sSaK's win rate is 25%, and he was complimenting me on my 33%. I had to get payback, didn't I? And you did, as that game was yours to take. Were you feeling confident all the way through today, starting with game 1? I was sure I would be winning the first game. And he played the build I thought he would, so it was even easier. Right, and so catching the Valkyrie in the early game and following up with economic growth, you showed exceptional mobility in the late game. And a truly Zerg-like performance to take the game. What were you focusing on in the first game? In the first game, I just thought I should macro and not take damage from Valkyries in the early game. And yesterday, when I was practicing with Yoon, there's a Zerg player called Yoon. So anyway, he said trying to get the Valkyries with Scourge is probably a good move. I tried it, and well, he was right. I really have Yoon to thank for this. Oh, you had some help. That must have been handy. Yes. Good. Now, when it comes to the second game, it was truly back and forth. You took quite a lot of damage in the early game, but in the end, came out victorious. What was that early game like? It was double Stargate. I went Muta. So many Corsairs showed up. You know, I was actually confused. I didn't know if it was 2 Stargates. But seeing my Mutalisks drop like flies, I knew it was double Stargate. I built Spores, and then I defended with Scourge. It's a good thing that I didn't lose too many Overlords. It was this conviction of Soma that ultimately led him to taking the winner's match to advance to the round of 16 so quickly. What would you like to show in the round of 16? In that second game, it felt like Mini was overdoing it with the Zealots. I thought to myself, what is he worried about? And then I looked at my main and there were no drones there. That's when I started worrying. You know, I don't look at the minimap very well. Things like that keep happening over and over again. I will work hard, starting now, and I will make sure I look at the minimap. I'm sure your win rate will be even better if you do look at the minimap. A lot of fans showed up to the studio to give you their support, and many are watching online. Likewise, a word for them, please. I will be this season's champion. Soma says he is determined to become the champion. And that does it for our interview with Soma, the first player to advance through today. Once more, congratulations on making the round of 16. Thank you. We will take a short break and return with the second place finisher of the day.
Made for the best. Made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design. A quantum leap in speed. Optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling. And a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. Made for the best. Made for who you can be.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Out of the cage, I'ma get him. All of my haters turn into a victim. Let off the leash, gotta sick them. They don't expect it, so we bout to hit them. Try to keep up with the rhythm, never lose focus cause we're on a mission. See how they squirming cause we're so determined. You looking for greatness, that's the definition. Call them and tell them you ready. Flowing can't hold back the levy. You know who sit on the throne and who wear the crown. I hope you get the message. This gonna be one for the ages. Gotta put us on your A-list. I hope that you came prepared. We're ready to win it on any occasion. Yeah. Woo. Let's go. We break all the rules with a defiance. We got it all from the small to the giant. Put on a show when it's electrifying. Guaranteed to show and prove. Ain't no competition, we can't lose. We got the hits coming.
We are back, everybody. This is going to be the loser's match, a Terran versus Terran.
No, Terran versus Zerg.
Sorry, it's a Zerg versus Terran. Talking about. Sorry, Terran versus Zerg. What's wrong with me?
Terran versus Terran. I wish, Tasteless. Oh my gosh, I love
Just like that
siege
guy.
tanks.
It's like, well, you know, at the end of Scream, you find out there's actually 2 Screams. So that's the thing. You find out there's actually 2 sSaKs here too.
There's 2 screens. Why did you spoiler it, Tasteless? Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Oh jeez. Well,
Spoiler alert: the end of the Titanic movie, the boat sinks.
Oh,
big
God.
shocker! Like,
yeah, the guy also drowns. Sorry, guys. He was a good artist, sure, but you know he shouldn't have done that. Now,
by the way, you know they proved that he could not have gotten on the door. They actually found out that apparently there's no way to have 2 people balance on that door. That's take that, all you experts in the chat.
Oh wow.
That's,
wait, because she
yeah.
was floating on the door, right?
She's floating on the door, and people are like, why couldn't he get on the door? And apparently it's too hard to have 2 people float on the door. That's why he's not on the door.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
rough. I would have pushed her off the door, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I would have found another door. I would have been like, well,
Yeah.
there's got to be more than one door on that boat. I can go find something else.
We're going to play on the
Anyways.
Tremors map, Tasteless. We'll see if we have any...
Okay, let's go.
Come on, Tremor scientists. Take me away.
All right, guys. Let's do this, guys. Game 4 of the evening, a Terran versus Zerg here. Find out who's going to get knocked out. Okay, we have Saber here in the top right, and in the bottom left is sSaK. And, you know, Saber had a very, very bumpy game. Like, Mini kind of got a couple jabs in, and then it was basically a beatdown. I think the way this game should go earlier, it should be a little bit smoother for Saber. And I think if he did have a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nerves, you know, he could basically get that out of his system by now. You know what I mean? Like, usually when you're nervous at a tournament, a lot of times it's like right at the start of the game or like right before the start, and eventually you're just kind of in the moment.
I think you're definitely, as far as the way I handle tournaments and stuff, that's definitely right for me. It's like the very first match is by far the hardest, and then everything else is fine because you're just like, all right, we've started, it's going. So I hope that Saber can kind of find his stride with that as well.
Yeah. You know, for a player like Saber, it's like, okay, I've made it this far. He's been playing his whole life. Everybody that's like in ASL has been playing their whole life. This is not one of these games you can show up and be good at and walk away. I guess unless you're like from some crazy background, like another competitive RTS, maybe you could kind of show up and have a head start compared to most people. But case in point, excuse me, he is going to try and do his best because he might not be back here next season. We don't know, right? I mean, he's been a great addition for the show this far, but there's a lot of other players that are vying for that position next season.
Quite a few. There's a lot of players that are right around that level. And, you know, winning ACS shows that he is, I guess, a small step above. Actually, the 2 players he beat in the top 4 were Sue and HM, 2 other really great Zergs. Sue from StarCraft 2, of course.
Right.
You know, everyone's just like, there's a lot of players right on the brink, man. It seems to me that there's about 4 slots in ASL that might go to anybody. Like, there's like 30 players vying for like 4 spots or so each season, where it's like, yeah, we don't know. The borderline guys, people like Motive, Scan, Paralyze, Saber, HM, Ride Sky, you know, like all these like very good up-and-comers that haven't secured like I'm in almost every season type status that people like Barracks and Soma have secured.
The Saber is going for 2 hatch and going to start his lair momentarily here. What are you laughing at me for?
I'm just
so funny.
I thought that you would have something to say that. You're like, whatever, man. Let's talk about build orders.
I'm like, anyways, I'm like, they're making buildings, they're mining minerals.
It's
like,
just
you
a
guys
game,
know what's going
Artosis.
on.
Like, why are you trying to make a story here? Like, it's so stupid, man. Just
Get a
talk
life,
about
Artosis. Go touch grass, man. It's just a computer game.
Don't you see what's on the screen? The drone's running away. All right, like let's say that. Like, really great commentary taste. Is very good.
This is actually a really quick gas after expand right now.
Actually, he made it before the command center, so that's like
yeah,
an
okay,
even,
I was gonna
even
say,
speedier. Yeah.
I don't feel like I've seen this that often, but I guess it makes for a quick factory, which could make for a quick vulture or a quick starport. What do you make of this?
I think it's most likely that he goes for a quick starport here. I'm not sure exactly what build, but like since it's cross spawn, like you definitely can do this, and it's going to be impossible for them to time out when your command center is. So this is very, very well hidden. Whereas in the Soma game, Soma was able to scout with his Overlord a lot quicker. So just a slightly better, positionally a better spot here for sSaK. Or as you call him, sSaK.
sSaK.
This is just a guy you
Do I
put
call him
oranges
sSaK?
in.
I call him sSaK?
You called him sSaK when you introed.
So the SCV is going to be picked off here. He can't get any more information with that. But it's Spire Tech here. He did have a little bit of a variation in the build with that quick gas. So let's see what kind of adjustments can be made from this that might help him here in the mid game, or might surprise Saber, in that the tech's going to come out at a time he's not ready for.
Well, I think it's going to be just slightly quicker for sSaK this game, and we'll see if Saber has the correct read and can actually jump on those Valkyries, because what we might see is what would have happened to Soma if he hadn't killed like 4 Valkyries right in a row. Because once you build up to 3 or 4, or heaven forbid more than that, the Mutalisks pretty much evaporate. They do not last long. You take a few volleys and you're just walking through them at that point.
It's funny because there are these games where, like, to explain what happened, why somebody won, it might take, almost the entire length of the game, because so many things happened, right? The game was really complex and there were a lot of pivotal moments. And then there's games where it's like, yeah, well, you lost your shuttle, at the start of the game, and you had a Reaver in it, and like, yeah, that's, you spent all this money on something, you got no value. It was kind of painful to watch this happen to Terran here, because it was like, well, you lost that Valkyrie. Oh, you lost that one. Oh, here's another one. That one died too. And, eventually it's like, this guy has nothing he can work with here in the mid game, because the key unit he teched into, he just kept losing over and over. But yeah, let's see if he can do a better job controlling it. Whoa, these Vultures going to try to run inside the main. The Lings run back basically to block the ramp, and sSaK decides, okay, we got to just pull out because this sunk might finish any second. I'm going to lose these Vultures.
He didn't have any sort of read on that time, which is unfortunate for him, because if you realize that it was that late, you actually can force the Mutas to stay home a little bit later, which means that you're going to be a little bit more prepared by the time they get to your base. But already he's got a good amount of turrets. He's got a Valkyrie out. I think the second one's about to pop out here as well. And here comes the Mutas with the Scourge. He's got to keep the Valkyrie alive. Incredibly important this game.
Yeah, the Valkyrie, the Zerg wants to bait it into a position where it can't quite turn around. It's a really clunky unit. It's hard to kind of move it in an easy way. And so what you want to do is get, and maybe Artosis, I actually don't know the number for this, but is there like a number that you're looking for? Like a lot of times Protosses want 5 Corsairs with +1 attack, and they can like kill Scourge in 2 shots. Is there a number of Valkyries you're looking for where you're like, now it's time to fight?
So yes and no. Like, for instance, if you have a ton of Marine Medic, well, first off, a lot of the timings are just based off of when they make the Lurkers. So, like, if they are getting towards Lurker, you just have to move however many Valkyries you have, because they scale down infinitely once Lurkers are out. But, like, if you have 1 with a bunch, it's fine. 4, it feels like where it gets really, really strong. And anything beyond 4 becomes, like, silly. It's like, I don't even know if you should make them beyond then. But the thing is, Valkyrie builds, you kind of have to transition into something weird out of them. Like, the 2 ways you can play Valkyrie is just a timing attack all in, where you opened with Bio, like a Marine Medic opener, maybe +1 or something, and then you go into Valkyries, then you try to hit a timing before Lurkers. So there's that, and once Lurkers are out, you're basically dead. And maybe you can go dropships after that and try to continue that all in, or you can switch into mech. So, yeah, it's not... the Valkyrie builds are still not completely mapped out, and a big part of that is just because they don't really provide anything once Lurkers are out. So they aren't used nearly as much as they were like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, so this is that, mech play. The Terran is just sitting there buttoned up. Can't engage the Zerg just yet. It's not clear if the Zerg knows what kind of tech this is so far. I mean, past the Valkyrie.
He has zoned him out.
It's going to be an immediate hive. That is such a fast hive. Oh, my God.
I'm not sure what exactly he wants. Maybe he just wants the Nidus out. Maybe he wants to get like a Lurker Defiler defense. He had a very quick Evolution Chamber, so I felt like he might have been going Crazy Zerg there. But Crazy Zerg is no good against mech. You don't really...
Well, does he want a Greater Spire?
Is
it?
I don't think
so. Is it possible? Like, what? Look. I mean, I know very little about the Valkyrie because I play Protoss. Like, I never see them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you see a Dark Archon Artosis, you're like, oh yeah, that's in the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Devour, I feel like I know even less about. Like the Devour, I feel like it's a complex unit that basically gets no attention and is never really used. But if the guy goes for a heavy Valkyrie. Is there a world where that would make sense to get like 1 or 2
maybe
Devour shots into that to kill it?
Maybe on an island map, but not on a land map. Like on a land map, if they have Valkyries, the counter is to not make more air units. And that it's like eventually you'll get a plague off on them or something and they're dead. But yeah, it looks like he is going towards Crazy Zerg. He did get that very quick Evolution Chamber. There is an Ultralisk Den below where that scan hit. But again, like Mines, Vultures, Siege Tanks, that's about as good a counter to Ultras as you're going to get.
Well, it's very cool to see the Saber going for this here. Now we're going to have the Mutas try to just come up here and clear as much as they can. Spider Mines are going to be littering the map here in the middle. And for the first time here, sSaK's going to try to move out with a ground army. But I don't feel like Terran has to push anywhere yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I think he could sit and basically power up a little bit more. And like none of these locations are desirable to attack into. The top left main is hard to get. I guess that's probably the best place to hit.
And so
he's going to try to move up there.
I just recognized something. He actually got +1 air weapons. I didn't expect that. So he has +1 air against the +1 flyer carapace. That makes a huge difference. Now,
oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right, here we go. The Scourge are coming up. The vessel goes down. Everything on the ground is going to be wiped here. Just one Goliath remaining here, and that's going to be killed. Obviously, the Vultures need to be pulled away as well. Yeah, that was just a weird time to attack as Terran on the map. Like, I sort of... I mean, I was kind of mentioning this before the fight happened, but I thought there's no really obvious target to hit, and I didn't feel like Terran had the right number of mech units. Like, especially versus Zerg, you don't really want to attack them with mech until you have, like, a lot. You want to have way more than, like, Terrans are used to fighting Protosses with a couple of mech units, right? But you really want, like, such a big chunk of Goliaths that if the Zerg attacks in at the wrong time, they lose everything. Or you want so many tanks that, everything is going to get obliterated before a single Zergling can touch the tanks. So it seemed like an odd moment to attack. Now, he kept the Valkyries alive. And again, I'm very intrigued by that +1 attack. I actually would not have even occurred to me to check for it. I'm glad that you and the Observer caught that. But yeah, I mean, why would you not get +1 attack if you're trying to accumulate a lot of these?
Oh, +1 attack on Valkyries is amazingly strong. But
really?
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're using Valkyries and you're actually playing against +1 carapace on Mutas, the Valkyries, like, really, they fall off really, really quickly there. So I'm surprised to see it, though, because it starts so late compared to, like, a +1 Corsair. It finishes way after the carapace upgrade for Zerg. So kind of an interesting thing to see mixed in there. But looking at the game right now and where we're at, I really hate sSaK's position. It looks so incredibly weak. Like, he's taking his third base, which is a mineral base. In the meantime, there is no issue here for Saber. Saber is taking a fourth. He's got Ultra out. Like, this has given him the window where if he wants to go Queens, he can. Another idea for Counter Queen, by the way, is to keep your Valkyrie count high. That was something Light was playing with a couple years ago. But it never really, nothing has bared fruit yet against Queen play. Like, no one's mastered anything and made it like, okay, mech can be normal now. But I'm just saying, like, when the game gets slowed like this, Queens are much easier to get out. Like you already had an army reset. It's tough.
I'm really waiting eagerly to see the first EMP on Queen's cast here.
Yeah.
Like I just because like look, especially there's a lot more Terrans and Zergs in the season. You know, there's less Protosses here, so we have a higher likelihood of just having more TVZs. And mech doesn't seem to be going away. You know, we're having it basically any day there's TVZ, there's one game with mech a lot of times. So, you know, hopefully we start to see that evolution because it does seem to be the obvious next step. You know, just like we saw the Protosses basically map out how to beat mass Hydra Muta by getting Maelstrom and freezing the Mutas and then killing it with an Archon or storming it or shooting it down with Dragoons. I look at these games and I go, God, it just feels like that's got to be the move here versus the Queens.
I'm excited about that as well. I do kind of agree with you that there's a good chance that will be heavily tried at some point. By the way, I need to point out that he's been going heavy Vulture Goliath for the most part, both times. I really like how he's playing. This is a very different style of mech, and he has, of course, mixed in siege tanks at this point. But like the roaming group that he had out there was very new. We never really see play like that. Maybe because you see Hydras a bit more often. But yeah, some Ultras now running in, getting on top of some of these siege tanks. I think he'll hold that, and I think he'll kill this 4th base. Maybe sSaK just fights right back from here.
I mean, this is looking pretty good. You know, especially on the 4 bases. The first couple of Ultras, you really want to make sure you get damage and clear stuff. You cannot feed with them because then you're just going to let the Terran expand out and push even further. So the Ultralisk positions, they're kind of fragmented, right? Like there's some, you know, fighting one place, there's a couple somewhere else. You really want to try to keep them together. So he's going to pull these back. He drives out the SCVs on the 6 o'clock base. But once again, some of them are getting fished away and isolated and then executed like this.
Wow. This is such a weird game that we're watching right now. I feel like Saber has the advantage still slightly, but the way sSaK is playing is like very, very fresh. Like roaming around a little bit, laying extra mines more than we normally see, walking around with Goliaths, picking off Overlords and things, running around with the Vultures. You kind of, like against this composition at least, it's working very well. I don't know how well it would work if there was like mass Hydras being made. You kind of really need tanks in siege mode then. But that also could prevent Queen switches. Now, Saber has mostly just stayed on Ultra Ling, which is weird. Like, you never really see anyone play mech or against mech like this. This is much more of an anti-bio type play because, you know, the high carapace for Ultras, like, the counter to high armor upgrades is high damage, like single attacks, whereas, like, Marines, you know, they do 6 base and up to 9 with +3. So, like, all that armor really takes a lot of damage out, whereas a tank shooting with 70 to 85 damage doesn't care that you have 5 armor, you know? So I'm surprised he just keeps making more Ultras.
Normally when you see unit compositions fighting each other, it's not ever random, right? Like there's a right number of everything versus everything. Oh my God! And he gets up into the main.
Ooh, he sees the hatching of the first Queen too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, great scout there. So, yeah, you know, like you normally, you know, versus mech, you just wouldn't see this composition that's being made. It's why it's so weird. And, you know, it's not hard for the Terran to fight. Like, Vultures are going to destroy, with tanks and mines, all these Ultras and Lings. You know, I mean, obviously the Vultures can just gun down the Lings so easily. The Vultures can get in the way for the tanks versus the Ultras. The mines are going to make the Ultralisks extremely squishy upon arrival of the attack. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
That was just now like 400 gas that disappeared due to mineral-only cost spider mines. Like, that's insane value.
The spider mines are basically free, man. It's like you can't be running Ultras through minefields. That's why this is looking so bizarre. And look at this, with all these siege tanks. I mean, I'm not sure what the attack upgrade is on for Terran, but 30 base damage against the Ultra. Like, they just don't care about the armor that much, and that's the strength of the Ultra.
This looks like its own matchup right now. All we need to do is have one Arbiter floating over the Ultralist Ling army, like running away with this, and we'd have a PvT right now.
Dude, I would go mech every game against Zerg if Zerg promised to play Ultra Ling against me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Dark Swarm comes down. Now, that is a problem for mech, but keep in mind there's no lurkers here. So it's not like he can, like, burrow and then uproot this entire push. Instead, the Ultras are just going to take a little bit less damage into the Dark Swarm and eventually die. Now, he is banking the energy on the Queens. I want to say something like 9 or 10 Queens were just like, they're underneath the mini-map right now. Just to the left of our position here. I mean, this is a lot of tanks.
There's very few Goliaths here as well. Like a switch into mutas would actually kill this army really quickly. Like if you just made 12 mutas, you would kill every tank before Goliaths could get up there. Just based on the very small anti-air number. Like Saber is a very good player, but it's very weird watching the way that he's playing against this.
Well, it's not correct. It's just, this is all wrong.
There's no incorrect way to play. Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
There is. Well, there are definitely incorrect ways to play. There's so here come the Queens. Keep in mind, not all these were made at the same time, so a couple more are still banking energy. If the Terran kills this base, it's Zerg on 3 bases to Terran's. Well, it was 5. Just now the Ultras, you know, denied the 5th base, forcing the SCVs away. Again, mines are going to come out here. This Ultralist can't last.
Trying to pick off some of those Queens before they get more energy, but this base is going to go down, and that's going to bring Saber down to like 3 mining bases. He does have a new hatchery, but no drones at it as of yet. This is a sSaK victory now. That's too bad because like Saber definitely got himself ahead, holding that first weird Goliath push out that we were both kind of scratching our heads about. And then he stayed on this composition that doesn't really have a place in this against this, you know? It was very, very weird to see.
Well, we're definitely in the twilight of this game. Like, I think we're going to see Saber tap out. You know, if you're someone who's studying the game, I mean, this is kind of a great illustration of, like, why, you know, there are certain unit compositions used in certain matchups. I guess he wanted to do Crazy Zerg, and then the mech came out, and he's just like, I'm just going to keep doing Crazy Zerg. And, you know, the good news is the Queens, we've seen Crazy Zerg with, like, Queens and Ensnare. Obviously, you can just get the Queens and go for the Broodling. That's really what you're supposed to do versus mech, but he doesn't have the right army comp to finish this off, you know?
He's having such a hard time actually attacking anything, defending anything. Just the damage output is so strong against all these melee units running in. That's really not what you're afraid of. You know, the Queens are how you gain value over time, but yeah, very well played game from sSaK to come back in this game after he was in kind of a gross spot for a little bit. And I'm actually like, I really would like to see some more of his Terran versus Zerg mech. GG. Because that was really fun to see, the heavy Vulture Goliath that he was trying to rely on. That it's just not something you ever see. So he will eliminate Saber. Saber goes 0-2 in his first ASL. That's not a big surprise. But Saber is one of these guys that is right on the brink of every ASL, so we might see him again next season.
Yeah. Saber, I mean, he had a rough day here, but these are a lot of times the most valuable days in your career because this is really where you hit a growth spurt, right? Was I too shaky in game 1, or could I not make decisions in game 2, right? Even a player as good as Saber, who's basically been, you know, one of the highest ranked players on the ladder consistently for years and years and years, ASL is a different beast.
It really is. It's the pinnacle of the sport, and you know, you get nervous. There's no question. You know, you need a lot of experience. Like, experienced ASL players have been through that a lot of times and are much better at dealing with it. And anyone that's kind of at their first tournament, it's a tough one, man. I know that you know this. Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, guys. When we come back, we'll talk more about it. Mini versus sSaK, the final match.
Made for the best. Made for who you can be. For esports pros, any miss can mean defeat. That's why the Death Adder V4 Pro has everything lined up. A fast, ergonomic design. A quantum leap in speed. Optical tracking for pixel-perfect scrolling. And a sensor more precise and intelligent than any other. for the best. Made for who you can be.
time will tell. Is this heaven or hell? I guess I'll wait for the bell. I'ma scream, I'ma yell. For my dreams, I won't fail. When the ship sets sail, I will prevail. I will prevail. I will prevail. I will prevail. Yes, now or never. Get smart, stay clever. Feel the change in the weather. All right, whatever. Never lose sight of the goal. I got places to go. I got people to see. That's why I go for the gold.
Welcome back, everybody. We have got we've got a match that we're it's actually going to be a rematch now that I think about it. Mini versus Saber here. What am I saying? Mini versus sSaK here coming up. What is going on? Where something's happening in my brain in this recording, where like every time the game starts, it's like they Men in Blacked my memory.
Yeah.
Something like, I'm like, we have 2 Terrans today. No, this is a rematch. It's Mini versus Saber. It's like, no, Tastosis, you just cast it. Saber died. He made mech. You just talked about it for like a half hour. Sorry, everybody. This is Mini versus sSaK. And this should be a really good one. Again, I think Mini should take it. He might have some pretty scummy Protoss cheese, some pretty exploitive play, but sSaK is a solid Terran. He should be able to put up a good fight.
Yeah, this is not at all undoable for sSaK. You know, he plays a style that is actually reasonably good, in my opinion, against Mini's general style. I think sSaK is extra weak against, like, heavy macro Protosses. Like, sSaK against Best, I give Best, like, a huge win rate. But against Mini, who's a little bit more of a technical player himself, sSaK is going to have the tools he needs to potentially deal with that. So I feel like he has an okay chance here.
All right, guys, we're going to hop into this game. The winner survives, the loser's out. This is Group C here, the final game of the ASL. Okay, sSaK here in the bottom on the left, Mini up here in the top on the left. Our final plug here for the Patreon, guys. Consider signing up. We know that many of you are out there. You love StarCraft. Whether you are a casual fan that just waits for these VODs to materialize on the internet, you feel the chills, you feel some change in the force on the internet, and you go, ooh, I think an ASL's just been uploaded, and you tune in and watch, and that's how you get your content. Or you're a hardcore fan where when you're not watching this, you're on Soup watching pros play. You're in Twitch streams watching various other players, sometimes foreigners. Hey, wake up, ASL's on, guy on the left. Okay, went back to sleep. But or you're hardcore, you're maybe playing, grinding, trying to improve yourself. We have new people picking up the game every day. Either way, consider signing up, guys. Support what you love, and we know you love StarCraft, so consider going to our Patreon.
And we love you guys for supporting for so long. It's really appreciated. And StarCraft forever. That's all I want. That's all I want, man, is to just play
here's
StarCraft.
The thing. We actually get to have StarCraft forever.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Enough people want it, and that's all that it needs. That's insane. I love it.
You can see interviews from top players like the second year the game's out where they're like, all these tournaments are going to go away.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's been over a quarter of a century now. The game is huge. There's new people coming on, and the games are better than ever, right? So I don't see why we wouldn't have another 25 years to add to that quarter of a century here.
Well, people were saying dead game on Team Liquid in 2001. So
Literally.
guys.
I remember talking to these like weirdly, darkly pessimistic kids at LANs, like, this is the last year. It's like, I love this game, but it's the last year. It'll be around. Yeah, I got to get a job after this. And it's like, okay, that's a weird guy.
Well,
but
they were right about that, Tasteless. I think you and I are the only ones at this point that didn't
we're
have
the
to get a
sole
job
survivor.
after
We
this.
still haven't gotten jobs yet. Yeah, that's true.
All right. All right, so yeah, Polestar, great map for PvT, TvP. It's a super balanced, really dynamic map. sSaK is doing what looks like a factory expansion opener, and Mini. Wow, that's a really fast factory from sSaK. Really well done. He is very good at mining optimization in the early game.
Yeah,
I feel like every time I see a 227 factory, it's from sSaK. That's very fast. So. Looking good, and Mini has decided to not scout as of yet, which is completely fine. Like, you can definitely play like that. We'll see if he's trying to optimize out like a very fast Nexus or what. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I got that mixed up with the colors. sSaK is actually the one not scouting, which is incredibly bizarre, actually. that's completely.
Yeah.
Now think of what I said, guys. Rewind and just take it exactly the opposite of what I said. So. Mini has scouted quickly. sSaK has not. sSaK is playing completely blind here. That's very strange.
It's generally deemed acceptable, not like a must, but a lot of times Protosses can scout with like the Dragoon or the Zealot if they want to, and just use the extra probe. Instead of scouting with it, you use it to get extra minerals. But Mini's always had like an off-brand, super strong, abusive Protoss. So not too shocked to see that he's scouting early like this, you know?
It's funny to see sSaK just absolutely uninterested in scouting, because this could be anything. Obviously, now he knows that it's a Dragoon opener, probably into an expansion. And that did optimize his build a bit better, like it's a faster command center and everything like that. But, like, for instance, right now, he still doesn't have info, and he's not even making a bunker. So I guess he's just going to pop a tank out and make Marines. It's very weird, guys. You never, ever, ever... I haven't seen a pro play like this, like, ever, basically. And Mini is doing a DT rush. Oh.
Yeah. Can't put it past Mini to do a TT rush. These were actually more popular, like, 3 years ago. There were a lot of games where you just go for, like, a Dragoon expand into DTs. And a lot of times Protosses were just being too greedy, and they would just not have detection, and they would lose the game. So I think we're going to see a second gateway and that Templar Archives thrown down. And, you know, this is one of these builds where, like, it looks strong when it works, but I feel like the Protoss is in total peril if it doesn't work.
100%.
You know, you don't have a Robo. I've thought to myself, like, well, maybe you want to just not get a Robo and go right into Arbiter because you're already in such a weird position. You might as well, like, try to cut corners even more. So for my own selfish purposes, I'm kind of hoping this doesn't work, and I want to see how Mini plays it. Because, like, this is a build I've definitely cast a bunch and I've tried myself, but I've always felt like I don't fully understand it beyond the power of maybe just winning the game immediately, right? Like, you do need to have some kind of way to follow this up.
I'm kind of surprised he's doing it. There are some mines being laid, and he actually did a good job with those Dragoons. I bet you Mini has a really interesting path for his DT, because having the goons out here, whenever you put goons on the bunker like this, they'll lay mines behind the goons so that when they try to retreat, they get hit. So Mini will probably use that against sSaK and walk around where his goons would normally retreat is my best bet. So that's kind of like a cool addition here for Mini. But yeah, like you said, if the DT rush ends up not working, like, that gives this huge amount of freedom to Terran. Like, your Observer is going to be way later. You can lay mines. You can get Vulture speed and do all sorts of fun stuff, make faster expands. So I'm worried for Mini. Maybe it crushes. Maybe he gets wrecked.
Okay, he's just going to feed the Dragoon to the mines. So he's going, and then he's going to avoid that one mine. So this could just kill him. This could just end the game right now. He's got to get that SCV and then probably dive on the tower, the turret, excuse me, itself.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh,
oh man,
Tastosis.
it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
Or
It
it's
is
good.
bad.
I mean, depends on who you're rooting for here. But if you're wanting the Terran to stay alive here, oh my god!
Wow.
A mine hit actually hits that DT. Somehow it didn't attack before it went under. Another DT. I think maybe 2 more DTs are coming here.
And Mini is trying so hard to keep this DT alive. That one's going to end up dying. It will get hit. And he should be able to swipe that one down, that siege tank. I'm surprised. Okay, there he goes. There he goes. But he keeps making DTs. Okay.
Okay. Oh. Okay, he's going to get that one. Now, the Vulture can kite this, and there's not enough damage for the Protoss to stop both the turrets. So he now has 1 damaged DT. This DT probably can't do anything. It would be 2-shotted by a Vulture if it merged in here. Okay, so we're going to get what I wanted, which was the rush to not end the game. Kind of mismanaged. I think sSaK had great control there. Oh, could he dive on the turret, perhaps?
Oh, that is what he's trying to do.
sSaK is really good.
Yeah, that surround is very good because it delays one of the DTs from actually hitting. Okay, that was too much from Mini. That was too much.
Wow.
He got way too greedy with that aggression.
So now we're going to be in that scenario we talked about. The Robo is going to finish in a little bit here, but you know, when we talk about weird experimental builds that Protoss can do, we're almost always still counting a Robo as part of the build because it's such a foundational core tech that Protoss needs. Because mines they play a bigger role in this matchup than maybe anywhere else. Like, mines play a role in TVT, but they're not a lot of times being set off and blowing up units, right? They kind of curb or sandbag progress of pushes on the map and eat up extra shots from tanks and Goliaths and Vultures when there's big fights. But, like, mines in this matchup, destroy Protoss armies. And that's why you need to have observers early on. Also, you need to know what kind of tech the Terran's going to do. So the fact that we're about to get our first observer in an 8-minute and 50-second game is pretty big.
The other thing that's pretty big here is that sSaK, during that defense, he actually defended the DTs pretty well for how much was spent on that rush. But he only had one factory. So these are the latest factory adds that you're likely ever to see in a pro game in this matchup. It is incredibly late how late those factories are. So he actually doesn't have an army that can push. And in fact, because it was an armory opener, he's gotten a very fast starport behind this. So we're going to see a dropship come out, and we're going to see very fast +2. So he's kind of falling back into like an upgrade Terran style while scouting with the vultures and trying to slow down any 4th or 5th base.
For late game tech, I mean, do you have to go Arbiter here? Is it, or would you just go Shuttle
Probably.
Storm? Yeah.
Most DT openers go into Arbiter. You don't have to. Like, you can follow up with any tech that you want. But, like, I mean, Arbiter is obviously the most common since you already have the Templar tech. I could see him, though. You know, he's made his Robo and whatever. He's making, like, a heavy Dragoon force here to clear mines and everything. Maybe he goes into Storm and just, like, drop or shuttle play.
Yeah, it feels like we almost don't have Arbiters lately, you know, and that's it. You just answered it. There's a shuttle in the 4 Templars coming out here. Yeah, you know, because that observer's late, you don't know if this drop's coming or not. You don't want to waste money on cannons if they're never going to make a drop ship. And so a little bit of a nuisance. This, I guess, overall, not going to be that impactful this game. I guess he will actually not get the drop ship.
Well, I'm surprised that made it out, actually. I think he's going to catch it on its way out still. Yeah, good movement there from Mini. I actually think every Terran player right now keeps their dropship in too long. Drop the vultures and get out. You don't need to save the vultures. Those are on a one-way mission. Save the dropship. I see it way too much. I do it too. It's stupid.
When they drop me and I get the dropship, I feel pretty good about it, even if they got a couple probes.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, you know, where if the dropship comes in and drops and gets out, it's like, oh, God, now I'm going to make one cannon at every single base, even if you never drop me there again.
Well, right now, Mini is taking his 4th base up at 12 o'clock. sSaK, you know, continuing those upgrades forward. That's the main part of what he's doing right now. He's still getting some good rotations on the vultures, and kind of he has a very good idea of what Mini is up to, which is a very important aspect for Terran. But this factory count is hilariously low. We're 11 minutes, 30 seconds in. By the way, this is when best maxes out in a standard game. We're at 135 supply against 102. But, of course, this is because of strange openers engaging. I'm just trying to give, like, a level to show you guys that we're in this very weird game. Very low unit counts at the moment.
Okay, so he's got the Dragoon contain here with the Templars. And, you know, one of the funny things about when you have the 4 Templars in the shuttle, and this is kind of the style I've been running now, that I've really enjoyed using it. It's one of the only times that Terran can't do this vulture surround bullshit that they do so often, where they just come out and they've got like vultures everywhere and they just spam down mines, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to lose 12 Dragoons here because I can't get out in time. You just unload the Templars and just storm it, and you're like, thank you. It's like the same problem that Hydralisks have versus Dragoon Templar, right, is you have enough. And so what Protoss wants to do now, and we'll see if there's a tech after this. Some Protosses will just sit on this kind of tech. Some will go for Arbiter later. Others can go for Carrier. Or even a second Robo with shuttle speed. But the idea is, as they push out, you unload 1 to 2 Templars. By the way, not all of them. Just 1 or 2. Chuck out 2 Storms, back up everything. Let them try to advance, and just try to slowly build up damage over time on them.
Did you see what I saw from that starport?
I actually think I missed it. What did you see?
sSaK is making Wraiths. He has 2, and I think a 3rd on the way.
Oh.
That is
I'm glad you noticed that.
Very uncommon, especially consider... Okay, you went 2 and Vessel, so that's going to be his anti-air. He's not going to make any Goliaths. That's really interesting. You almost never see this. This is very rare.
It's a little observer hit squad, right?
Looks
like,
that way, yeah.
two of them can kill an observer pretty fast. It's an interaction you don't really think about when you think about StarCraft. You don't think about wraiths, you know, with the aid of science vessels shooting down observers that without speed. But yeah, I guess you can kill that pretty easily. I actually thought this was somehow oriented towards the shuttle.
I did too at first.
I thought maybe because there's no shuttle speed, I thought, well, maybe he like defensive matrices like the wraiths or something, and just like tries to kill the shuttle, and then when the shuttle's gone, you don't have the, you know, what, 8 to 12 storms that you would have on 4 Templars, and you kind of just push.
Well, here comes the shuttles. He's not going to be able to kill those too quick. He's microing the wraiths so hard. That doesn't... Dude, that's not... I don't think that's good use of your time, is doing wraith micro during a battle on the shuttles. But you know what? He has a great defense matrix there. He has a great spread of tanks already with 2-1. So Mini loses quite a large chunk of his army there and has to back up.
Man, if Mini loses this right now,
that would be
sSaK,
crazy.
I mean, that's going to be pretty wild. But, you know, it's happened to Mini before. Mini's like someone who's been to multiple ASL finals, but at the same time, he really does struggle in these, you know, not best of 5 or best of 7 games sometimes.
Well, he's too willing to do insane strats. Like, I think his base level beats sSaK most of the time, and he decided DT rush. And it's like, well, what are you trying to catch, man?
Right.
Like, Terrans are good against DTs. We don't die to DTs nowadays. It's just not something that people do. It's like, when do you not have your detection? When's the last time we saw a pro game where Terran didn't have detection? It doesn't happen.
No, you know, it's like eventually you play enough StarCraft, you kind of learn, okay, like this is someone I can beat. I could beat them with this crazy cheese. I could silence them, but I can beat them. So maybe I should play a boring game. Like, yeah, that's such a complicated late game, a failed proxy DT rush. Why would, you know? I get him trying this like several times versus light, but yeah, I don't know about this time around. How is it targeting the shuttle in the back? How do you get that kind of draw? Did you see that?
Yeah.
How did that pick the shuttle
manual.
in
That was manual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains it. That was wild.
It's become so common to target the back shuttle that some players now put the shuttle with high Templars in the front. It matters if you're against a good enough player. Like, Best did that against Sharp last season.
That's interesting. That just shows, yeah, like how smart and how meta things are. Maybe you have that turret even hotkeyed. You see that coming in, you just grab it and then right-click on that shuttle.
Super fast move there. He didn't even get a shot on the other one, which is crazy. So he definitely saw that coming, or was the fastest ever. So
now the push is going to come down here. Oh, he's actually going to be able to Zealot bomb this. I like this.
Well, there's very little anti-air. We haven't seen any missile turrets made. He hasn't made Goliaths. He was mostly just on those wraiths for a bit. So the shuttles are kind of able to do whatever they want. The D-Matrix is working out really, really well. Okay, a couple Goliaths back here at least, and a missile turret. So that'll help shore up this defense a bit. And he will hold this position. This is not something Mini can kill, and Mini knows that. Backs up. sSaK has taken a 4th base during this time. He's doing a good job in a lot of ways. Mini is taking a 6th base, but he's only on 5 bases, and he's against 4 bases at this exact moment. And it's great upgrades for sSaK, and nothing for Mini. Mini has 0-0-0. He has 2 forages in 0-0-0.
No way.
What?
That's insane, man. What? Yeah. You know, this has been a weird day with the upgrades. I was imagining, yeah, it's probably just 1 forge spinning, or if there's 2.
I was figuring he'd be on 2-1 at least.
0-0?
Yeah. Because sSaK is about to hit 3-3.
I think now Mini will lose this.
Yeah.
This is so much harder for Mini because, like, you can have 1 forge. I almost feel like everybody should have 2 forges at this point in time. Like, it's not that much money, and, like, it does matter in the long run. But, like, there are games, okay, you go all the way up to +3 attack, and then you go all the way up to +3 armor, or you do, like, attack and armor, attack, attack. There's a couple different patterns you can follow there, but, like, you do need to have the upgrades. Terran's army is already... A 3-3 Terran army is better than a 3-3-3 Protoss army. Like, Zealot, you know, Dragoon versus Tank Vultures. So, like, you know, I'm just blown away, and I don't feel like that can be an intentional decision. Like, no, we didn't want the forges. We wanted, like, I don't know, 2 extra Templars and Zealots or something. Like, so he must have just not clicked on the forge. So it's crazy to see Mini like this out of his element, man.
Must be. But he's doing a good job here hitting 2 different sides. He sends in the 4 speed shuttles, does some great damage to sSaK's 3rd base, and then walks Dragoons into a completely undefended 4th. and is going to snipe the command center. That is a big, big deal right there. sSaK needed that 4th base. He had nothing over there defending.
Yeah, well, one powerful push here from sSaK when he's maxed out, and that could be devastating for Protoss. I mean, Mini's going to try to play keep away here. Interesting kind of late game Reaver. We never really see this. But, you know, if you're going to go for the mass Templar with shuttles, there's no reason to not get a second Robo and get shuttle speed, right? I mean, shuttles are just so much better when they have the speed upgrade. You can do more micro tricks. You can get more storms off. So why not throw a Reaver in there? A Reaver's also a really difficult unit to deal with in isolated situations.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing it, especially considering he's 0-0-0 still against 3-2. So that at least the Scarabs will get some damage done. He just started his Forge upgrades. He just started. The only saving grace is how much damage he did to sSaK's economy. Because 3-2, like if sSaK had 4 mining bases, I would just turn the VOD off and be like, all right, I'm done. The game's over. But like he actually does have a chance here.
Another storm comes down here, picks away a couple tanks. You just try to kill off whatever, you know, on the outskirts of these fights, and then you go back, remax, and buy time. What Terran wants to do is plug up either the main or the natural. In this game, I really thought it would be the main. He is going to go for the natural. And then you try to push out and see what you can do there. But the problem for him is that Mini's got mass gates at both places. So it's not like, you know, you can cut off the feed of Zealots and Dragoons and then, you know, fork out on the map with different sets of tanks and vultures and wipe out these bases. Big Zealot Reaver bombs coming in here.
Man, those bombs are so good. Yeah, they killed way more than I actually thought it would end up doing. There's Goliath a little bit out of position there for sSaK. And he kills a lot, 163 to 120. sSaK still sitting on just 3 bases. His natural is almost mined out. Looks like he will get some damage here in the top right, but sSaK desperately needs 1 more base. Desperately.
Yeah, sSaK's going to push in here. He's going to take this out. This has been a bumpy game for both sides. I mean, the mini upgrade situation is so bad. It's honestly, it's kind of hard to watch, but sSaK is not growing at a rate that's healthy. Like, he's now put Protoss back on 5 bases, but 5 bases is really when the Protoss is in the kind of game they want to play, PvT. Any Protoss that's, you know, worth his stuff is going to get up to 5 bases and be like, okay, I can work off this for a while. Yes, we'll probably eventually have to get a 6th base here or take another main, but all you really want to do is try to fight the Terran and keep the Terran small, and you should be okay. And, you know, even though Mini forgot to get his upgrades on time, I guess this is the best possible composition to have an upgrade-less Protoss right now. Or I guess what he's got 1-1 now, +1 attack now.
Well, you're definitely right about that. Like, Storm doesn't care about upgrades at all, and that's like a huge percentage of his damage. And the Zealot bombs are another big part, so... Yeah, I guess you are right. That's a good optimistic outlook. Like, well, he doesn't have upgrades, but it doesn't matter because of Storm damage. Yeah, and that's definitely helping him here. But if sSaK slows the game down, like, it's going to take Mini a while to... It's really hard to break entrenched positions, basically, with a comp like this. Like, look at this. Oh, my God. So cost inefficient for Mini. You couldn't... Like, that's... Well, maybe it gets better right here. Still trying to drop out on those tanks. But he's in a good spot. He's got those amazing upgrades, and Mini has to turn around again. Look at that. That's like 50 supply from Mini, gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah. Mini, a little bit of an overextension there. We never really get these games. I said this either yesterday or the day before, but, like, Terran, if they get the entire bottom side of the map, they will win in a long game.
Absolutely,
just like we talked about, you know, Protosses generally need to kill the Zerg with a push. The Terran generally needs to kill the Terran with a push. Doesn't mean they can't win in an end game or like a really long drawn out game. But when they do win, they get up to 5 bases, or they end up taking the bottom, like on this map, just the whole bottom row of bases. Basically, they get that main in the bottom right and the natural. And from there, the Protoss in a long game will just run out of resources. Terran just need less bases to win a game. And so if they're able to take half of that, it's basically curtains for Protoss. It's one of the reasons why most games where Protoss get into a position where they can't lose, they have a Nexus and mass gates in not just one main, but 2. So they basically, it looks like they have 3 starting locations in the end game. And from there, it's like, it's so hard for Terran to take it because it's hard to push into the other 2 mains, and Protoss can basically like just stay back with Dragoons and storm, you know, the ramp or the low ground and back away. And, you know, eventually the Terran doesn't have anywhere to expand because they can't take a natural that easy either with the Protoss in the main. But yeah, I mean, with how small and weak Mini is right now, maybe small is not the right term for a guy that's maxed out, but I mean, with an army that's not going to be able to fight the Terran easily with the upgrades, he just has a worse army overall compared to Terran, and so I feel like Terran can really stretch out on his side of the map.
And I don't think Mini has the economy to switch into carrier. Like, that would be the one way if Terran does take half the map that you would still have chances to win, is if you get a good fleet of carriers going, because they kind of outscale mech. But he's nowhere near that. You can't imagine that occurring at any point in this game. sSaK, yeah, maybe moving a little bit too far with these tanks. I'm not sure why he's moving so far forward when he's at 137 supply and his bases are all being storm dropped. Really feel like he should sit back in a really defensive stance. He's playing against Speed Shuttle. Like, you're supposed to mostly defend against this. There's no reason to be attacking. Just get your bases up, keep them up, prevent your opponent from killing all your workers. But instead, he's like in the middle of the map with his tanks, which, like, if he's just doing a zoning defense, that's okay. But if he attacks, he's going to lose this game.
Nice storm drop over here, or one of them. He's going to get the second one off. It looks like he's very preoccupied. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's weird. Like, sSaK has just sort of been so small for so long. I guess the storm drops really, the damage has accumulated. I mean, we're seeing a very thin, small amount of workers at each of these bases. I'd be curious to see what the actual SCV count is in this game. You know, the main is mined out. I'm sorry, I mean, the main and the natural is mined out. So it's basically these bases on the outside that are being storm dropped over and over and over again. And because of that, it seems like sSaK can never get as big as he needs to be. So maybe Mini actually does take this just because sSaK kind of fell apart. And, you know, the longer the game goes off, the closer Protoss is to 3-3 and possibly even shield upgrades with that too.
His engages are only going to get better as those upgrades improve. sSaK is attacking top right, but look at this. Over and over, he just doesn't have enough defense at this base. Like, this base gets stormed to hell all the time when you play TVP on this map, so you got to be careful about that. Now, there is some counter Vulture raids going on. Like, sSaK still does have a good mining base over here, although Mini's starting to attack that. I don't know if he has enough army coming in to actually eliminate it.
Okay, big drops in over here, hitting these tanks. And, you know, sSaK actually has a lot of gas in the bank, so it's not like he can't make tanks that quickly. But really the problem for him is, like, look how slowly the minerals are climbing for sSaK on the upper right ticker.
He's barely
this
mining.
looks like it looks like it's moving at the rate that you get at the start of the game after the worker split. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very low. There's going to be another storm drop here. Again, these SCVs are being carted around the map constantly. Remember that it's not like there's a medic here or that the SCVs have any time or money to repair each other. So you see these storms happen, some SCVs die, but some of these SCVs are going to be so squishy, you could, like, send one Zealot in there and it would one-shot, you know, 12 SCVs one by one, just run down the line and start killing everything.
Oh, man, those two tanks getting some huge volleys as this army attacks up, but he's going to have to lift off this base. The fact that that's his third and it's nowhere near mined out at 27 minutes is insane to me. That shows you how much economic damage Mini has been doing throughout the game. sSaK still walking around with this siege tank-based army. There's 3 mining bases for Mini right now and 1 for sSaK. sSaK is at half the supply. I feel kind of bad because it really looked for a little bit like sSaK would take this, but he didn't prioritize, like, defending his actual economy or his bases. And then he just, like, was attacking into a position where Mini needed him to attack to get the right engagements because his upgrades were so bad. Very, very kind of rough to see here from sSaK. He's going to be kicking himself after this game if Mini wins.
I was talking about how he'd be getting the, you know, 3-3 eventually. He's not upgrading out of the forges again. He got 1-1 and stopped.
Yeah, man, that's enough. Well, sometimes when your economy gets low, you're like, actually, I need to prioritize these units. But his money has never really gotten that low. He's had, like, over 2K minerals almost nonstop, 500-ish gas almost nonstop.
No, he's barely lost any probes this game. it's basically been him beating down the Terran the whole time. I mean, Terran had a period where they looked scary, but Mini's like far past that point. Right now, the Terran is so tiny and brittle. You know, with the few SCVs that have been remade or are still alive from early on, very, very weak and likely to die to another storm drop here soon. Yeah, just, you know, honestly, Mini is having a really bad game here. This is one of the worst Mini games I've seen. I know he's going to win, but, like, he's looking really rough.
I can't disagree with you. It's just, like, the fact that he just continually hasn't upgraded well, other than that, I guess, you know, that is a huge mistake, and he's made that many times now. I'm also kind of sad about sSaK because it seemed like he got himself in a good position. Like, when he was 3-2 against 0-0-0 and had 4 bases, you should never lose that position. And he just was, like, so sloppy on his attacks. He keeps walking around with, like, an almost pure siege tank army now. Oof. Good D-matrices, really good ones. Incredibly good ones. He's going to splatter this army. I tell you, D-matrix is such a good counter against Storm.
Yeah, it's really frustrating for the Protoss. When I see a D-matrix, I just run. I'm like, I'm not going to fight you right now. This could not go well for me. I'll just hope that, you know, you don't have this later on. So it's 90 supply. You know, if Mini had it upgraded, and he should be at 3-3, like, he should have been at 3-3 a long time ago. This army would fight a little bit better. I mean, you can really see how hard it is for Protoss to kill anything just in combat. Zealot Dragoon combat versus Vulture tank with mines there, especially when D-Matrix is coming down. He's going to finally push up here. How many minerals are at these bases, by the way? Okay, big bomb coming in here. This is what's so strong about mass shuttle like this is, you know, you just come in and the siege tank damage is spread across. You heard Artosis go, unsiege, like that. Like he was
what
going
am I
through puberty.
watching? Unsiege your tanks!
I don't unsiege my tanks, Dad!
Oh my God.
But, like, but yeah, I mean, the siege damage spreads amongst the Terran army and kills it. And so, like, yeah, it's why you never want to fight with small armies. Versus, you know, Protoss in this kind of a game where they're taking these kind of fights.
Man, this game has just been a series of car crashes, Tasteless. It has been tough.
We got a couple of crash dummy gamers here.
sSaK is like, he's barely got anything. He's floated his command centers out. He's trying to have 2 mining bases. On 2 mining bases with 3-3, you're still, like, kind of in the game. Mini just decided that those extra upgrades are not worth as much as 1 more Dragoon and 1 more High Templar. It's kind of crazy to see, but he is mining from some bases still, like 12 o'clock, top right natural. He doesn't actually have probes at that top right 3rd base, which he definitely should fix pretty soon here. Now, another bomb in. Oh, God. These Storms. Dude,
great
that
storms there.
Woo!
The push coming here to clear out the center of the map. sSaK is a husk of a Terran at this point in time.
He's got 66 supply, man. But never give up with Terran. Just keep going forever. Okay, I don't think that
storm for an SCV. Ooh. You'll never make this refinery now.
Mini is out of bank.
Transferred.
Mini's out of bank. If sSaK could clear 1 more army, he still has a chance in this game.
Yeah, that is true. Like, he's, you know, the resources are going to drop. No, hold on. But Mini has that new base on the below the main at the right. Okay, GG.
Oof.
Woo.
Needlessly close, I feel like.
We're gonna.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was like, before this game ends, we're gonna watch sSaK keel over and be about to die, and Mini has to suck the last breath of air out of his mouth to take his soul. That was.
I thought you were gonna say.
It was such
yeah.
No, Artosis. This is a family show. No, I mean, it's like that was rough watching him slowly die out.
It was.
He's like at 65 supply. There's, every building is on fire, just in the orange, not in the red. It's not burning down. Like, not a single unit's at full HP. Kind of a slow slog of a game. I thought you'd like my my end metaphor there, Artosis, before I found out how horny you were at the end of that game. That's so crazy. You have such a dirty mind. Why are you so horny all the time, Artosis?
Saw me too. Oh,
Jesus.
That's what you thought. I thought, oh, Tastosis, you're the one. Oh, gross. No.
Artosis.
Oh.
People are watching this at home with their families.
Oh, man. I don't know what they're going to show here, but I don't even want to see it because all they should show is the forge is not spinning. Like
that should be it. They should zoom in on that.
And the fact that sSaK is sitting on 4 base with 3-2 against 0-0-0, and he is attack moving across the map into Psystorm blows my mind. Also, if he had simply unsieged, if they're bombing on you, unsiege. Holy crap! Who would have thought? Watch this. What are we doing? The damage is from the siege tanks, not from the zealots.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of dropping zealots on top is that, I mean, great. You get a melee unit there, it can hit right when it comes out, but it's because the best thing to use siege tanks to be against themselves is to take advantage of their splash. Their splash does not discriminate. It will hurt units with friendly fire just like it will with offensive fire.
Absolutely.
With enemy fire.
Enemy fire, whatever fire
so
it is.
We're going to have that interview with Mini now, see how he's feeling. He's moving on to that round of 16.
ASL Season20 24
And that does it for our matches on the third day of the round of 24 here at ASL Season 20, as we have our second player advancing through today. It's Mini. Congratulations. Thank you. There were so many twists and turns today, but at the end of that decider match, you emerged victorious. How are you feeling? I was utterly hopeless today. During warm-up, I thought I was fine, but then as soon as I got into the actual games, my brain froze. So you're not too happy then? Yeah. Well, let's go back and talk about the first game. You played a match that was very characteristic of your style. What did you focus on when playing against Saber? After the first Zealot, I wanted to play as safely as can be and play as relaxed as I could. And things were fine for game 1. And the game that followed ended in an unfortunate defeat. How did you compose yourself going into the decider match? Sorry, what did you say? How did you compose yourself before the final match? To be honest, even that winner's match, I should have taken it, but I made a wrong call, and that cost me the game. So that really affected my mentality. I was not in the right frame of mind watching the losers match. Right, and so getting a grip was very much a priority. Now, before the final match actually started, you were sitting there with a smile on your face, a smile that said a lot, and you were meeting sSaK in the decider. What was the meaning behind that smile? Oh, I just asked sSaK in chat, hey, you said you wanted to get revenge on Soma. Why did you lose? And well, he responded with this and that, and it made me laugh. It was because of you guys chatting. Now, this expo into Dark Templar build, was this a secret weapon you prepared? No, originally didn't plan on playing it. I wanted to play as safe as possible, go up to Robo and macro safely. That's why I practiced. But then I got to the studio, he wasn't scouting, I suddenly felt I want to play it, so I played it, and I'm glad I did. Oh, I see. But the game did not end there. It kept going back and forth for so long. I want to ask about that situation. Oh, it should have ended with the DTs, but I couldn't focus properly, I didn't break the turrets, so the game went long. It should have ended there, but it didn't. I think it was me who put myself on the back foot. The game should have ended, but it didn't. I kept thinking I should attack as soon as my opponent comes out, but... Oh yeah, you struggled, right? Yeah, he didn't come out, he didn't try to expand quickly, so I just ended up stifling myself. Many people were waiting to see when you would start your upgrades. Do you think it was a mistake? Oh, that one too. Well, my idea was to fight ASAP. I thought that I was ahead and fighting would put me in a winning position. But he didn't leave his base to expand. I ended up forgetting about upgrades. I didn't split my workers correctly, so I wasn't mining well. Even though I was so ahead, I just did it all to myself. And so Mini advances to the round of 16, but not without some regrets. What can we expect from you in the round of 16? I will make sure I don't hinder myself. I will get upgrades. I'll try and play as composed as I can. Can't wait to see how far this composed play takes you. Many people showed up to the studio to lend you their support, and many are cheering online. Do you have anything to say to them? Many people worry for me ahead of the round of 24. Regardless of me being a tier 1 player, I have hardly ever advanced through the winners match, so a lot of people worry. But I advanced, and I'll have to get a good performance in the round of 16. Can't wait, and that does it for our interview with Mini, who advances to the round of 16. Thanks for the interview. Oh, sorry, can I thank the people who helped me practice? Yes, please go ahead. Royal, Queen, and also Hero. I played with them before today's games. The Zergs are doing so well, so much so I couldn't take a game. They play really well. I hope they advance so we can meet in the round of 16. Can't wait to see you in the round of 16. Thanks for the interview. Thank you. That was our interview with Mini. Now we have one more gift from Google Play for our ASL Season 20 fans. Here is a Google Play code you can redeem for points. The code that you can currently see on your screen, you can redeem it in the Google Play app after going into checkout. For the first 500 people to use this code, they will get 1,000 points. Please go ahead and use the code. As you can see, it's not over until it's over, so you've got to keep watching the show until the end. With this code, you can get discounts in various apps and games. Use it however you wish. This is a gift from Google Play exclusively for ASL fans. We hope you use the code. And it's time to say goodbye.
Okay, guys, what a week. Thank you so much for joining us on what was an amazing 3 days of the ASL. Soma and Mini advance. It's kind of like what we said, although we thought Mini would get out before Soma, but a group that was pretty predictable, right? And honestly, I think these are the guys we wanted to advance.
I would agree. I would agree. Soma and Mini are just like really much stronger than these other guys, even though Mini like does his best to mess up best of one matches. Like that's his ultimate weak point is best of ones. It's so weird to see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how deep these guys get. And as we see the round of 16 start to shape up, Protoss takes the lead.
Yeah, we've got Best, Bisu, Mini, and Snow. Although we don't have that many more Protosses left. I think the do not worry, Zergs and Terrans. I think your guys are going to fill in pretty nicely there.
Yeah.
We have a small number of Protosses in this season of ASL, but they're obviously all very strong. And so a lot of times by the time we get to the round of 8, we almost always end up with that golden ratio.
Yeah, almost always. It's very rare we don't.
So it's going to be an absolutely insane Zerg brawl here for Group D. Queen, Hyun, Effort, and Calm. I have no idea who gets out of here. You know, Hyun and Calm have extremely good ZVZ. We've seen this before. You know, Queen and Effort are, I think, the more established of the two. You know, get your notepads out. You're going to learn a lot when Tastosis and I really break down ZVZ, a matchup that we are.
We're especially experts
we understand. This is really our blind spot as casters of ZVZ, but should be fun. I do think ZVZ's had some really interesting changes. We've seen like extractors taken at naturals without a hatchery there, like long distance mining to kind of get a gas boost. We've had hatcheries placed in unusual spots. I don't know. ZVZ's had a lot of cool stuff going on the last couple years, so it should be a fun day.
And the last time we saw a Hive ZVZ, it did have Effort in it, so maybe something can happen in that group coming up. I hope so.
Yeah.
It should still be pretty exciting, although it will probably be our fastest day we've ever had in ASL history. But yeah, there you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week, and we will see you next week. Any final words there, Tastosis?
We love you guys. Get on the Patreon. Do it. Sign up. We will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.